live commentary from Aldershot coming up in a moment's time, but let's quickly nip to Meadowbank, where we're honoured to have the mighty Alfie Rutherford summarising for Chris Baldwin online. He's alongside Chris. Good afternoon, Alfie.
Yeah, thanks very much, Tim. Alfie can't hear you because we've only got one set of headphones here, but Alfie has joined us in the gantry this afternoon. As I mentioned earlier, he's ineligible to play this afternoon. Cup tied, of course, having played for Bognor Regis Town early in the season, but Alfie, I bet you'll wish you're out there this afternoon.
Yeah, I do, and I felt like it was just coming at that time where I started to get a little bit more match fitness. But you know, it was that point at Bognor where they had a lot of trophy games at the time. So if I didn't play for them in the trophy, I'd have only played 2 games. So it's unfortunate, but the game time was more important at the time. So unfortunately, I'm going to miss today.
And you've been back for a few games now, and I think you scored against Boreham Wood, didn't you, a couple of weeks ago? That must have been a huge lift for you.
Yeah, I think that's always the worry. Is you're always worried whether that first goal was going to come, but luckily for me, I mean, it was sort of handed to me, but it was still a good enough finish, and yeah, I was just buzzing to be back out there, and obviously to score as well was the main thing, and to win the game.
That's Alfie Rutherford, who's going to be joining me here on the BBC Sport website and mobile app for live commentary of Dorking Wanderers versus Maidenhead in the FA Trophy. Tim.
Wonderful stuff. That's Chris Baldwin alongside Alfie Rutherford. You can hear that commentary and commentary of South Park in one of the biggest games in the club's history away to Hereford FC. This is a trophy game, of course, but our commentary game is Eastleigh Aldershot. We're going to join Rob Worrell in a moment's time. Let's see if we can catch the players coming out for South Park at Edgar Street. They're normally in front of 150 people, Ben Chilman. This is going to be very different for them.
Going to be very different for South Park indeed. As the players come out, South Park in their change strip of blue and the goalkeeper in green, and Hereford follow in behind them quite unconventionally. But yeah, South Park are going to really have to be at the races today. Hereford name a strong lineup, so we look forward to this one with anticipation. Live now from 3.
Wonderful stuff. So we've given you all the taste. We've heard live from Scott Lindsay giving us Cheamies from Crawley. We've heard the players coming out at South Park. We spoke from Alfie Rutherford at Dorking. But now, without further ado, Aldershot Town, as Rob said earlier, having the best season for 6 seasons. The great old days of Gary Wallet will we always talk about in the future. The great old days under Tommy Widgington. Can they win in the Cup at Stockport County of League 2 on Wednesday? And today, can they get through to the 4th round of the FA Trophy? Commentary at the Silver Lake Stadium. It's a very good afternoon to Rob Worrell, who still hasn't had his cup of tea.
I managed to get a Bovril in the end, Tim. Thank you very much, Tim Durrant, and welcome to our radio and our online listeners via BBC Radio Surrey or by the BBC Sports app. We've got Eastleigh in 11th place in the National League against Aldershot, 6th in the National League. But they're not playing for points, they're playing for progression to the 4th round of the FA Trophy. And the captains are just meeting with a referee, David McNamara, as we speak. He's had 9 National League games this season, shown 47 yellows and 1 red. He refereed Aldershot's home game against Southend that ended 1-1, and he also refereed a game here that ended up 6-0 to the opposition, Gateshead, in the National League. So neither team have won under this referee this season. The Shots, with 2 changes this afternoon, are in a huddle right now, directly in front of me. I'm 20 yards or so to the right of the halfway line, sat in the end where the Aldershot faithful are, in the last sections of the open terracing on the far side, and then they filled a couple of banks of the seating area away to our right. 2 changes then for the Shots, who line up with Jordi van Stapperscherf in goal, Harfield, Harries and Rowe still the back 3, Glover and Minoga the wing backs, Frost and Willard in the centre of midfield. The changes come up top. Josh Stokes is rested to the bench. Joe Haig comes in, the former Chelsea starlet, and Tolaj keeps his place up top alongside Kwame Thomas, who replaces Jack Barham, who came off with a knock against Stockport County. It might well be that Widgington would have called for Kwame Thomas today anyway, with the imposing physical presence of Quigley and McCallum up top for Eastleigh. I'll go through their team in just a minute, but they launching an attack now. It's cleared away by Harries up towards Thomas, who battles away well with the number 6 Ludwig Franchillet, who hobbled off with an injury here the last time the shots were at the Silver Lake. He wasn't the only one to depart the pitch early, was he? The Shots goalkeeper did then, but here is Quigley getting away down the right hand side. He squares it, it's cleared away calmly and comfortably by Haji Minoga, who arrives 6 yards out just in front of Paul McCallum. Eastleigh, of course, fresh from their FA Cup giant killing of their own against Reading last week. There's a shot from the edge of the area by Boldwine, cleared forward by Aldershot, picked up again by the Eastleigh number 12, and he exchanges passes with Jaden Harris, a familiar face, of course, to Aldershot Town players. And a corner's been given to Eastleigh away to our right. Jaden Harris here, of course, on loan from Carlisle, from where he went actually when he left Aldershot, and a devastating blow it was at the time for Mark Molesley at the start of last season. Not a player he'd banked on losing, and all the energy and some goals went out of the Aldershot Town midfield at the start of last season. So here now, we're in the 3rd minute. Eastleigh 0, Shots 0, but a corner to be taken by Chris Maguire. A header comes in at the near post. It may have even come off Harfield's head actually, but Van Stappershoef gets onto it. Aldershot try the early break, and Willard's up there against the goalkeeper, headed off his line. Shot comes in, follow up from Willard is poor, and the Eastleigh goalkeeper Tommy Scott, I think it might well be his debut, deputising for Joe McDonnell, had to come out of his area and headed the ball almost a la Van Stappershoef in the other game, but he, unlike that previous league game, Tommy Scott was favourite to get to this one, and he did, but his cushion header went straight to Tommy Willard, who had a defender in front of him to stop him literally passing into the open net, but he tried an effort from 25 yards or so and dragged it wide. But a big opportunity for the Shots already in just the 3rd minute, and Willard, who's been doing an exemplary job in the centre of midfield, not getting too many goal scoring opportunities this season. Here's Eastleigh building on the edge of the area. Hold up is from Paul McCallum. He tries to find Quigley and can't. Aldershot clear up towards Kwame Thomas. Thomas goes back to Harfield, who in turn goes back to Van Stappershoef. A little bit of a bobble as he clears it, but he does well. Good battle in the middle there with the number 16 Solomon Wabukai, but Aldershot have picked up the loose ball, spread it out to the right hand side where Lauren Tollage has picked it up, and he's fed Tyler Frost. Frost back to Rowe, and he exchanges passes with Ollie Harfield. Willard receives the ball on the half turn and finds a bit of space, but then a poor ball forward from him. He recovers really well to get back on it from Jaden Harris. We know how well Harris presses. He did it to such good effect a couple of seasons ago for the Shots. Here's Frost in midfield, arrowing a diagonal ball out to the right hand side, and it's a really good one, and it finds Glover, who started on the right hand side there at the minute. Aldershot combining on the right hand side, and they'll look to try and get a cross in when they can. In it comes now from the right. Kwame Thomas gets his head on it, and it's just weak and probably just going 6 or 8 inches wide of the left hand post, but plenty of time for Tommy Scott to get across to it. But nevertheless, plenty of passing, a good build up from the Shots there, and it's the Shots who've asked the first 2 questions in the opening 5 minutes of the Eastleigh goalkeeper Tommy Scott, and that's exactly what you'd want to do when you've got a young goalkeeper coming in. Here's a good battle over on the far side between Minoga and Quigley, and Quigley is adjudged by our referee David McNamara to have used excessive force. Free kicks given to Aldershot. They've taken it quickly already. A reminder that they're playing in what we call the Argentina strip, the light blue and white shirts and the black shorts and white socks this afternoon. And Eastleigh in their all blue strip with white trim. Aldershot play it across the back line. Rowe finds Harfield. He'll probably have to go back to Rowe again. Rowe could clip it out to Minogue on the right hand side if he looks up and sees him, but he goes back to Harries. Harries controls it, gives it to Frost, and Frost sends it over to the far side. It was a bit of a chess game in those opening 20-25 minutes of the league game here. 0-0 at the time when Van Stappershoef came out of his area and committed that foul for which he was sent off. Here's Aldershot building on the edge of the area. Tolaj and Haig on this occasion, not quite on the same wavelength. Haig, of course, replacing Josh Stokes, who is on the bench. Eastleigh send it out to the right hand side and they can make a bit of ground here. The ball comes in early, it's cut out by Rowe, a little bit of spin on it, and Harries misses his swing and hit. It's squared across the goal and Minogue can only just chest it behind for a corner. A little bit nervy from the shots in defence, and it will be a second corner of the afternoon to the home side, Eastleigh. They're listening to BBC Radio Surrey, or BBC Radio Surrey Sport Online on the BBC Sport app. I'm Rob Worrell, and we're at the Silver Lake, home of Eastleigh. Corner over on the far side in front of the Aldershot Town fans for Eastleigh, and it comes to the near post. It might be Minogue trying to get there first in front of an Eastleigh player, but the final contact coming off one of the Spitfires, and it will be a goal kick to the shots. A couple of minutes time we'll have our first trip around the grounds, see how our other teams in the region are getting on, but at the moment here at the Silver Lake it's Eastleigh 0, Aldershot Town 0. Tolaj can't quite win the ball, but Willard does well to win it, and then he's just given away a misplaced pass again. It's played inside to Jaden Harris. He's going to try a shot, and it's squirmed underneath Van Stappershoef, who has had another unfortunate moment here at the Silver Lake. In truth, the left-footed shot from the edge of the area by Jaden Harris was quite weakly struck. It should have been a routine save for Van Stappershoef, but it squirmed underneath him, and would you believe it, football poetry, Jaden Harris, the former Shots player on loan for Eastleigh, gives the Spyrites the lead. And yet again at the Silver Lake things have gone wrong in the first half for Aldershot Town. 3 sendings off here in recent years. Today they've still got 11, but they have gone a goal behind just inside the 8th minute, and Jaden Harris won't get much easier goals than that. Let's go quickly to Dorking, to Chris Baldwin, where I think there's been a goal scored at a similar time. Chris, come in.
There has indeed, Rob, and I can confirm that we're not sure who got the goal at the moment. It might be an own goal. We'll confirm that a little bit later on, but a great start for Dorking Wanderers. Just 6.5 minutes in, some great work down the right-hand side from Bobby Joe Taylor, who danced past a couple of challenges from the Maidenhead United defenders, and the ball landed in the back of the net. Great start for Mark White's side. It's Maidenhead United who are trail here. Dorking Wanderers 1, Maidenhead United 0.
Thank you very much, Chris Baldwin. So just as Eastleigh have an attack here that's cut out by Aldershot, early ball forward, and that one is intercepted. Willard is lively on the 50-50 ball, is played forward by Frost, and it'll go all the way through to the young goalkeeper Tommy Scott, who's had a couple of questions asked of him early on in this game, which he gave the correct answers to, and unfortunately the first test for the shots keeper Van Stappershoef didn't pay off. Here's Frost running forward. He might try a shot from the edge of the area. He finds it to Haig. Haig to Kwame Thomas on his left foot, shoots, telegraphs it a little bit, and it's cleared away by Eastleigh. We'll go to Gary Smith in just a moment, but Aldershot still on the attack, down by the corner flag, and the ball's in touch. It's given as a throw to Eastleigh. So shots with 3 efforts already, not managing to score. Eastleigh, 1 shot, pretty weak, has found the back of the net. All right, Gary Smith then in League 2. He's at Colchester against Crawley. Gary, how's that one going?
No goals at the moment, Rob. We're just 10.5 minutes in. There was a great chance for the home side after just 3 minutes. Ball in from the far side across the 6-yard box from Taylor, and Tavide should really have done better on the 6-yard line. Just screwed his shot wide of the post. Bit of a let-off for Crawley Town. Crawley have had the lion's share of possession, as they like to in this game, but nothing really to show for their efforts at the moment. It's Colchester 0, Crawley Town 0.
It'll be a free kick on the edge of the area to Eastleigh, so we'll stay here at the Silver Lake for a moment. Thank you very much, Gary. And we will drop into Edgar Street shortly to Ben Chilman to see how South Park have started. But the Shots have had a little bit of a wobble here early on against their Hampshire neighbours, as they so often seem to do at the Silver Lake, with sendings off and odd little moments. Certainly it was a nervy attempt at a save by Van Stappershoef. Hopefully he can do better from this free kick now. Packed around just outside the 6-yard box. Chris Maguire is going to send in a delivery from the right side, and it's missed by a lot of people and then towed wide just beyond the far post by an Eastleigh player, and it will be a goal kick to the Shots. So the perfect opportunity for us to go over to Ben Chilman at Edgar Street and tell us how South Park have started against Hereford. Ben?
Yeah, thanks, Rob. South Park have actually started really well. They've had there's only been 2 shots in the game, and both of them have fallen to South Park. They've been bright down this right-hand side. The combinations of Brissett and Tucker have given the Hereford team and the fans something to think about, but it's still 0-0.
So 0-0 then at Hereford, and also Crawley, but the Shots are behind and Dorking are ahead. So we're well underway with our Saturday afternoon sports coverage here on BBC Radio Surrey. Willard battles well to play the ball off of an Eastleigh player and win a throw for the Shots, who do look a bit leggy, and now Harries has given it away as well. McCallum getting to the byline, pulls it back, and it's cut out by Kobe Rowe. And well, if Aldershot Town we're going to be asked questions as to just how much their focus is on this game today, with a very big replay coming up at Stockport in the week. They haven't really been able to dispel those question marks in the opening 13 minutes here at the Silver Lake, where they have fallen behind and been caught in possession a couple of times. Corner comes in from Maguire, and it's a Shots player who heads that one behind, and it'll be another corner. Already Eastleigh's 4th of the game, and Eastleigh have started the game far better than they did in the league fixture back in late August. That ball from the corner from Maguire has gone out of play before it's come back in, so it will be a goal kick to the Shots. And not sure if Tommy Widrington still does have a touchline ban, because I can see him about 7 rows down and about 12 places to the left of me, watching the action as Hugo Langton and Richard Walden conduct proceedings from the sideline. Not a great start from the Shots. Hopefully they've got time to recover and go again. Goal kick from Van Stappershoef, bounces in between Shots players and over Shots players, and just not quite on script at the moment. Throw into Eastleigh, 15 yards inside their own half. Minoga just holds Quigley up. There's a ball bouncing over the top. Difficult one to be dealt with, and Lauren Tollage is battling away well against the Eastleigh number 12, George Langston. He's adjudged to be offside, so it'll be a free kick to Eastleigh, roughly halfway inside their own half, and they'll be pleased with their start. The young man who's about to take this free kick, 10 yards outside his area, Tommy Scott, he'll be delighted too. A reminder that just 3 minutes in, he had to come to the edge of his area and head the ball clear. He headed it straight to Tommy Willard, and Willard had a sight of goal, but he didn't get hold of his effort. There was a defender between him and the goal, but he dragged it wide of the target, and quite weakly as well. Never was there a moment where it looked like it was going in. And Aldershot didn't quite capitalise on that chance, and they were made to pay just 5 minutes later, when Jaden Harris, of all people, on loan from Carlisle United, didn't score too many goals. He did get a couple of beauties for the Shots when he was at the EBB, but there's a good win from Kean Harries. Ball's going to come back from a strong header from Baldwin, and then Frost wins the next header. Thomas takes it down nicely on his chest and finds Glover on the right hand side today. It's Minoga, Harries and Rowe playing the centre-backs, and Harfield back in the wing-back positions today. Ball over the top. Scott clears it up towards halfway. Haji Minogue should be first to get to that. He heads the ball to Ryan Glover, and Glover goes back to Cian Harries. And eventually the ball goes all the way back to Tommy Scott in the Eastleigh goal. So almost 16 minutes gone here at the Silver Lake Stadium, where it's Eastleigh 1, Aldershot Town 0 in the FA Trophy. Dorking 1-0 up when we last went there at home to Maidenhead. And South Park have started well at Hereford. Meanwhile in League 2 we await the first goal with news from Gary Smith, and then we'll go back to him in a short while. Here's Eastleigh in possession with Baldwin into Quigley. He goes down a little bit too easily according to referee David McNamara, and Aldershot come away with the ball with Frost. Frost feeds Minogue. He loves to come forward with the ball, and he will do so today. That's a lot asking of him on the second ball, but he's got there first, and he shoved the Eastleigh player out of the way. Hodgson kept possession, found Glover. Glover's up against two Eastleigh players. Can he make room for a cross? He goes back to Minogue. Shots content just to enjoy a little bit of possession here on the edge of the Eastleigh final third. Ball in now to Tollage. Bright turn from him. Can't quite get away from his man to make room for a shot. Goes back to Frost. Frost finds Willard. Will Willard have another go here? He jinks it to his right. Gets a look, another look. Lets fly with the shot. Relatively comfortable block. Comes only as far as Kobe Rowe, and Rowe will feed Glover again on the right hand side. Glover looking for Tollage. That doesn't quite come off. Eastleigh go back to Scott, who lifts it forward. Frost wins it in the air. Nwabukai wins it in the air and sends it back to Frost, who heads it down, but only into the path of Enzio Baldwin, who of course scored against the Shots earlier on this season. Another ball forward, cut out in the air by Harries, and Kobe Rowe, nice and positive, just chips it over McCallum and back to Van Stappershoef. So we're about 18 minutes in to most of the games this afternoon. We'll pay another visit now to Gary Smith at Colchester. Colchester against Crawley, Gary. Any news of that first goal yet?
No, nothing at the moment, Rob. It's still goalless. We've played just over 18 and a half minutes. We've just seen the first yellow card of the game as well, which has been flashed in the face of the Colchester striker Joe Taylor for a foul on Lawrence Maguire. They just produced a very, very quick counter-attack as well, Colchester, and it was another ball into the Crawley box where Tavidi got to it just like he did after 3 minutes, but once again, thankfully for Crawley, got his angles completely wrong and the ball just skewed wide of the post. And we're still goalless, Rob. Colchester 0, Crawley Town 0.
Very much, Gary. Eastleigh on the edge of the area, going to try a shot from distance. McCallum, his touch is poor. Had it been better, he would have had a clear effort on goal. Aldershot clear up to Kwame Thomas, who turns inside well. Thinks he's impeded by the Eastleigh number 12 Langston. Nothing given though. Referee consistent with his early approach. Quigley's on the right side here. He'll get a ball in, lifted away by Rowe. Only as far as Maguire, whose touch is heavy. And Kwame Thomas nicks it off him, feeds Haig. Haig to Tollage. Tollage into Kwame Thomas. And again, the ball, the Shots player's not quite on the same wavelength. And I don't know what the equivalent to after the Lord Mayor's show is before a big game. Perhaps listeners can share that one with me. I don't know if it has a name, but Aldershot are suffering it right now. Here's Harris looking to square the ball in. It goes behind for another corner, the fifth one of the afternoon to Eastleigh. So here on BBC Radio Surrey, we will see how this corner pans out for Eastleigh, and then we'll go and get another update from Meadowbank and see if Dorking are still ahead or have indeed extended their lead against Maidenhead. Side they've already played in the National League this season, and a game that they lost slightly underwhelmingly, still battling against a constant injury crisis at Meadowbank. Here, Aldershot Town with two changes today from Sunday's FA Cup lineup at Stockport. They've gone behind again, something that hasn't unduly bothered them in recent weeks and months. They've gone behind in games. They were 2-0 down at Bromley and came back and won that one late. They were twice 2-0 down at the EBB this season and came back to win. Chris Maguire now is going to take this corner for Eastleigh, headed away by Ryan Glover, and Eastleigh ping the ball out to the left-hand side where Maguire picks it up again and Glover pokes it into touch. So let's have a word with Chris Baldwin at Meadowbank. Dorking against Maidenhead. An update, please, Chris.
And it remains Dorking Wanderers 1, Maidenhead United 0, and still that early goal for Dorking Wanderers separates the two sides, and we still haven't had confirmation as to whether it was a goal for Bobby Joe Taylor or whether the final touch came off a Maidenhead United shirt, but we'll clarify that for you just as soon as we can. Maidenhead United have had plenty of possession since that goal, but lacked really any sort of creativity in that final third, and Harrison Mayle, the Dorking Wanderers keeper, has had pretty little to do at the moment. So we've played just 21 minutes or so, and it remains Dorking Wanderers 1, Maidenhead United 0.
So we still await absolute confirmation of the Dorking goal scorer. Certainly Bobby Joe Taylor heavily involved, but likely to have assisted that one. There's a lovely turn from Joe Haig. Now he's got forward runs from Thomas and Tolaj. Thomas is just a bit slow to get to it inside the area. He does get a foot on it, drags it back, but he can only drag it back to an Eastleigh player, and it's cleared forward up towards halfway now, and it will find touch. All right then, Ben Chilman at Edgar Street. How are South Park getting on now, Ben? We'll hear from Ben in just a moment, hopefully, but Aldershot have a throw in here, just 10 yards inside their own half, and Aldershot assistant manager Richard Walden has been sent to the stands, where I think there is indeed a seat available next to Tommy Widrington. And so Hugo Langton, it's down to you now. Shots, a goal down and an assistant manager down, as we take the opportunity to rejoin Ben Chilman at Edgar Street for Hereford against South Park.
Still 0-0 here, Rob, but South Park have definitely had the better of the chances. Just 5 minutes ago, Brissett and King linking up well on the right-hand side, but unfortunately the shot was weak and comfortably saved by the ever-present goalkeeper for Hereford, Curtis Pond. Still 0-0 here in the third round of the trophy.
Thank you very much indeed, Ben. And just for the benefit of our radio listeners, just to correct a momentary mistake, it's Richard Dryden, the Aldershot Town assistant manager. It's not the ex-Shots player, Richard Walden. Eastleigh have won the ball, probably fouled, good advantage played. Aldershot have won it back through Tyler Frost, and he sends it out to the left-hand side. Eastleigh players still down on the far side. I think it's Nwabukai. But Eastleigh, Aldershot continue to play here and build on the edge of the final third. The referee's brought the game to a halt, which allows us to go back over a little sooner than we thought we might to Chris Baldwin at Meadowbank. What's happened there now, Chris?
Well, Dorking Wanderers have doubled their lead here, Rob. It's Dorking Wanderers 2, Maidenhead United 0, and an absolutely stunning strike from Bobby Joe Taylor from all of about 20 yards. It was Luke Moore who looked up, thought about the shot, but decided to square it to Bobby Joe Taylor on that right-hand side. A little dip of the shoulder. He cut onto his left foot and absolutely buried it beyond Craig Ross into the back of the net. That first goal will probably go down as an assist for Bobby Joe Taylor, but no doubt about that second goal. What a strike from the Dorking Wanderers defender. It's Dorking Wanderers 2, Maidenhead United 0.
Well, what a cracking start. Thank you, Chris, for Dorking Wanderers in the FA Trophy this afternoon. 2-0 up against Maidenhead, and well done Bobby Joe Taylor, of course, is a former Shot and a former few other National League clubs as well. But if there's a bit of doubt about whether or not you scored the first goal, why not just go settle the argument, get yourself another one anyway? And that's exactly what Bobby Joe Taylor has done for Dorking. The Shots are 1-0 down here at Eastleigh. We've got a stoppage in play for treatment to the number 16 Solomon Nwabukai, the former Woking player, of course. Just to complete the picture in our region, Woking's game this afternoon at Weston-super-Mare was called off. Not the first game to get called off at that ground this season. They've had a lot of trouble with the pitch there and the extremely wet climate. Nwabukai hobbles off on the far side. We wait to see whether he'll come back on again or not. And it remains Eastleigh 1, Aldershot Town 0. It's been a bit of an eerie start, bit of an eerie atmosphere as well. Only about 12 or 1300 expected this afternoon. The early rounds of the FA Trophy just don't quite seem to pull in the crowds that they do towards the latter end of the tournament, when clubs get a little bit of a sniff of Wembley. I think the referee and Ollie Harfield are just having a debate here about what will happen when he restarts. I think he's going to give it to Harfield and tell him to play it back into the Eastleigh half. A reminder that Eastleigh took the lead in the 8th minute. No, Aldershot allowed to keep possession. Jaden Harris it was, who had a relatively weak shot from the edge of the area, which somehow squirmed, not cleanly, but through and underneath the body of Van Stappershoef. Here's Haji Minoga trying to inject a bit of energy and pace back into this Aldershot Town performance. Glover tries a pass, that doesn't quite come off. It's cleared away by Jaden Harris. Easy headed winner for Harries. He finds Minogu, who tries an early ball over the top. Tolaj can't go for it because he was coming back from an offside position, and it makes its way all the way back to Tommy Scott, the number 13 in the Eastleigh goal. A reminder that he's only starting because the regular Spy Rights keeper, Joe McDonald, his partner, gave birth to a child overnight. Congratulations to Joe and his partner. Aldershot in possession now inside their own half, and they've given it away again. Minoga has fed Maguire. Maguire back onto his right foot, plays it inside to Nwabukai, gets it back onto his left foot. Now he drops the pass back to Jaden Harris, back out to the left hand side to Chris Maguire. He goes back to Jaden Harris. Harris out to the right hand side and feeds Enzio Baldwin. Clips the ball forward off of Harfield, into touch, throw into Eastleigh, level with the edge of the Aldershot Town penalty area. It's taken quickly to Maguire, who gives it back to Baldwin. Baldwin finds Nwabukai, and he finds Baldwin again on the edge of the area. He's up against Harfield, skips one way then the other, tries a shot. That's nicely blocked, strongly blocked by Kobe Rowe, and then cleared forward by Aldershot, but well blocked by Harris. Good win from Hodgson, and Eastleigh have turned over possession again, and they look a far more cohesive team than they did in the early half an hour or so of the league game. Here's Quigley running across the area, can't quite clear it for a shot, gets one in eventually. Minoga goes to ground to hold it. Tolaj takes it down, buys himself a bit of space on the left side. Now he'll look to take on Hodgson. He's up against him. Hodgson does really well, just gets his body in the way, and there's a back pass which Scott does well to read because Kwame Thomas was lurking. Ball forward is cut out by Kobe Rowe. Good work from Frost. He plays it off of Jaden Harris, and it's into touch. Throw in to the shots, and here at the Silver Lake we are halfway through the 28th minute of the first half. A reminder that it's 1-0 here to Eastleigh, 2-0 to Dorking against Maidenhead, 0-0 between Colchester and Crawley, and Hereford and South Park in the FA Trophy. Here's Haji Minoga going back to Van Stappershoef, who now feeds Harries, and the lack of atmosphere around the ground is reflected by, and there's an accidental handball by Ollie Harfield going forward. Just a bit of bad luck for the Shots left wing back. He'll enjoy an opportunity to play back in the left wing back berth today. A little bit less defensive responsibility for the reliable Shots player, but coming off second best with the referee there as the ball bounced up and hit him on the hand. Free kick will be taken by Tommy Scott just outside of his own penalty area, and it's played to the edge of the Shots back line here, where Harries just nestles up against Rowe, McCallum, and wins the ball. Jaden Harris has got the ball, he's heading to the guideline, but Tyler Frost has done brilliantly to run alongside him and nick it. Then he plays the ball down the line, which Tolaj will battle away with Hodgson for. And there's a 50-50 which breaks nicely for Enzio Baldwin. Cross comes in, plucked out of the sky by Jordi Van Stappershoef, and he'll feel a little bit better for that moment. Strange, isn't it? He's been in good form for the Shots of late, and comes back to a ground where it all went wrong for him with that early first half sending off. and he lets one underneath his body. Here's Willard playing a ball to the edge of the area to Tolaj. Can't quite get it where he wants. Squares it to Haig. Haig goes back now to Willard, and Willard out wide on the right hand side to Ryan Glover. Glover, can he get across? And he can, and it's headed away but only as far as half field, but referee spots a little nudge, I think, from Kwame Thomas into the back of Francillette, and the referee David McNamara well placed there just to spot that little bit of contact from Kwame Thomas, just trying to unbalance Francillette. Good to see the big Eastleigh defender back playing again after that innocuous looking injury sustained here at the Silver Lake against Aldershot in the league game on the August bank holiday weekend, when Eastleigh of course ran out 3-0 winners on that day, and they're the ones that's had the better start today. Certainly opened the scoring. They may not have had more chances on goal than Aldershot, but Aldershot not quite firing on all cylinders at the moment, missing perhaps the inspiration of young Josh Stokes, who is on the bench. Rowe with a throw forward, cleared back up the pitch towards him, takes it down on his chest, and he'll go back to Jordi van Stappershoer, and we'll soon check in with Gary Smith again over at Colchester for one more update before half time, see if the deadlock can be broken there. Approaching 32 minutes here at the Silver Lake Stadium. Eastleigh 1, Aldershot Town 0. Haig with a poor touch, recovers well, but again the ricochet favours Eastleigh. Nwabukai exchanges passes with Bailey Clements, of course, on loan from Chesterfield, and now inside to Chris Maguire, who's got plenty of space, finds Jaden Harris. He's going to give it back to him, clips the ball in, he knows where McCallum's likely to be, and it's towed wide behind the goal. It'll be a goal kick to shot. So let's join then Gary Smith at Colchester against Crawley.
Yeah, we've played 33 minutes here at the JobServe Community Stadium. We are still awaiting the opening goal of the afternoon. The best chances have fallen to Colchester. Tavide's had a couple that have fizzed into the box. They've come off his toe and sort of just wriggled the wrong side of the post, thankfully, from a Crawley Town perspective. Liam Kelly had a very, very similar one after 22 minutes. A great ball in from Kellen Gordon. Found him on the edge of the penalty area, but he dribbled his shot the wrong side of the post. 33 and a half minutes played. All very even, Stephen, at the moment. It's Colchester 0, Crawley Town 0.
Okay, well the ball's in midfield here. Let's go straight to Edgar Street, Ben Chilman, where I believe there's been a goal.
There has been a goal. Hereford, the home side, 1, South Park 0. It was South Park will kick themselves a bit that they conceded like this. They'd been on the front foot, as I'd reported before, and then some slightly sloppy defending at the back allowed a cross in from Kobe Arthur on the right hand side, and nobody got up from a South Park point of view to head it clear. A free header in the middle of the 6-yard box for Adam Rooney, the ever-experienced former league striker. Won't have many easier finishes than that this season. Frustrating for South Park. Hereford 1, South Park 0.
With that Hereford goal. Thank you very much indeed, Ben Chilman. Quigley goes down inside the penalty area. 3 or 4 little half shouts for a penalty. Referee McNamara certainly not interested, and the shots come away with the ball up towards halfway now with Haig. Gives it to Kwame Thomas. He drops it out to Glover, who comes inside now looking for Haig, who's just brushed off the ball as if he weren't there by Francillette, who sent it out to the left side to Maguire, and his pass looking for the Eastleigh number 18 Bailey Clements, doesn't find its man, and Ryan Glover turns it into touch. Throw into Eastleigh, who lead by 1-0, who've shaded the opening 34 and a half minutes here at the Silver Lake, and on this occasion they go all the way back to that man Francillette, and he starts a little dribble forward a la Neil Byrne for Stockport last week, until they get to the finish, which he drags horribly wide, and probably not one to make my notepad, that one. Goal kick to the Shots. All right, we've been a little bit more recently to them, of course, because of the second goal, but I wonder if Chris Baldwin's been able to catch his breath yet at Meadowbank, where we've had a couple of goals already. Is it still 2-0 Dorking, Chris?
It is at the moment, Rob, with 35 minutes played. It remains 2-0. That assist from Bobby Joe Taylor earlier on in the match, and then that stunning strike from the Dorking Wanderers defender after that as well to make it 2-0. Once again, Maidenhead United with plenty of possession, but just lacking anything in that final third. And Harrison Mell still yet to make any kind of notable save in the opening 45 minutes. And with that 2-goal cushion, Dorking Wanderers can afford to be patient and just knock the ball around. And as we approach half-time, it remains Dorking Wanderers 2, Maidenhead United 0.
Thank you very much, Chris Baldwin. So you're up to date with all our other games across the BBC Surrey Sport region this afternoon. Colchester 0, Crawley 0, Dorking 2, Maidenhead 0, and Hereford 1 now, South Park 0. Here at the Silver Lake, it's Eastleigh 1, Aldershot Town 0. Ball forward is flicked on by McCallum. He looks to see where his partner Quigley was, and Quigley was on his heels, didn't make a run forward at all. So Aldershot comfortably deal with that one and go back to Jordi van Stappershoef. Just keeping an eye on the National League South, Farnborough, just down the road from Aldershot. They're behind at Taunton as Aldershot try and build inside their own half. Tolladge's idea doesn't come off, nor does Nabukai's, and the end result is Ryan Glover skipping in. Here's Tolladge, going to get a chance on it here on his left foot, is he? First attempt is blocked. He's still got it. He's dribbling to the edge of the area. Going to try a shot with his right foot. No, he just tries to do a little bit too much on his own in the end. The Swiss striker for Aldershot. Maguire tries to get a ball through for Quigley, and that's really well read by a combination of Rowe and Harries. Clip ball over the top from Rowe will find Tolladge, and he might be in a better position to get it on his left foot. Tries a ball in, that's blocked, telegraphed and blocked by Eastleigh. Falls nicely into the path of Jaden Harris, and it's a little bit too easy and comfortable for Eastleigh here. Rowe steps up and ensures that the run of Quigley across the front line there would have been offside if he'd gone. Now he goes again, but he's not going to beat the pace of Haji Minoga, who crumples in a heap with Quigley behind him and goes down in front of the Shots faithful over on the far side. And ironic cheers from them as the free kick is obviously given to the Shots. So Eastleigh 1, Aldershot Town 0 here at the Silver Lake. I'm Rob Warren. You listen to BBC Radio Surrey Sport or the BBC Sport app. Can the Shots get themselves level before the break? If they're going to do so, they've got 8.5 minutes to do that. I beg your pardon, my maths is out. 7.5. Here's Harries finding Frost in a little bit of space to roam into. He's getting to the edge of the area now and tries a little ball that doesn't come off, but it comes back to him, and Harfield will clip a ball in. Kwame Thomas, great header, brilliantly saved by Tommy Scott. Far and away Aldershot Town's best effort of the afternoon. Lovely cross from Ollie Harfield, and Thomas got a lot of power into that header, and that was a quite brilliant save by Tommy Scott, deputising for Joe McDonnell this afternoon, and easily the best bit of action for the Shots so far this afternoon. They're in possession again now on halfway, and they do go back via Rowe to Stokes and then Harries, who pings out to the right side. It's a good ball, and it's well taken by Glover. Up against his man now on the edge of the penalty area. Plays it inside. Joe Haig tries a shot. It's spilt by Scott, and Tolladge is almost there, but he can't get there. Scott reacts well, and he'll be pleased with his first half so far, Tommy Scott, as 39 minutes are completed here at the Silver Lake. And that little pot shot from Joe Haig was on target, but pretty weak, to be fair. But we've already seen a pretty weak effort from Jaden Harris at the other end go in underneath, squirm if you like, underneath the body of Jordi van Stappershoef this afternoon in the 8th minute, and that's the goal that separates the two sides. Eastleigh have a throw-in, take it quickly. They've still got the ball on the left-hand side, and they'll be quite content, I'm sure, with a 1-0 scoreline at half-time, but they're pushing now to try and find a second. In possession on the left side, back inside to Chris Maguire, always available and nearly always a quality delivery too. Clement's involved now on the left hand side. He's up against Glover. Clipped ball into the area. will bounce once and be taken easily by Van Stappershoef, who feeds Ollie Harfield. And I know it's a touchline ban for Tommy Widrington. Keep an eye at half-time. I'm not 100% sure if he is allowed to go into the dressing room. I think you are, unless you're banned from a ground. I think you're still allowed to go and do the team talk at half-time. A reminder that Richard Dryden, one of his 2 assistant managers, has been sent off in this game. Harry's clipping the ball over the top, and it's hooked into touch, safety first by George Langston. Throw-in taken quickly by Harfield, who finds Tolaj. And we're going to go to Colchester shortly, where there has been a goal in the game between Colchester and Crawley, but just Aldershot on the edge of the area here. Let's just see how this attack pans out. Haig, well, to Glover, and he stumbles, and the ball's found touch. So let's go to Gary Smith at Colchester, where I think the deadlock's been broken. Gary?
Yeah, it certainly has. Rob, we've played 41.5 minutes and Crawley have taken the lead. Will Wright escaping down the right hand side, played the ball in, it was cleared back to him. We got a little bit fortunate, but when he had a second chance he picked out Liam Kelly, a similar position to the one that he had after 22 minutes, but this time low down to the goalkeeper's left hand side and into the bottom corner for his second goal of the season, and Crawley take the lead just before the break. Rob, Colchester 0, Crawley Town 1.
Thank you, Gary. So Dorking ahead and Crawley ahead this afternoon. South Park are behind at Hereford 1-0, and that's the same scoreline here at the Silver Lake Stadium. But shots on the attack now. Rowe, Harfield, Joe Haig involved. He picks up the ball quite deep here. It's the sort of game that he'd want to come into and make an impact. A former Chelsea youngster. Big shoes to fill. Gives the ball to Glover. He finds Minoga overlapping run. Glover again, clipped to the far post, headed away by Baldwin, only as far as Minoga, who can't quite get another effort towards goal in. It's lifted forward. Kwame Thomas gets ahead on it, but then it's headed back to Tommy Scott, who catches the ball and falls to the ground. So 42 minutes gone here. Eastleigh 1, Aldershot Town 0. And I think we might have another goal at Meadowbank. Come in, Chris Baldwin.
And it's now Dorking Wanderers 3, Maidenhead United 0, with just a couple of minutes or so of the first half remaining. Some nice work down this left-hand side from Luke Moore. He managed to work his way into the 18-yard box, challenged for the ball with Will de Havilland. He went to the ground, the ball fell very nicely for George Frankham, who from the byline just fed it back to James McShane, who was unmarked, and just tapped it home to give us a scoreline here at the Meadowbank Stadium now of Dorking Wanderers 3, Maidenhead United 0.
On the edge of the area. Well done to Mark White's men. Dorking Wanderers 3-0 up against Maidenhead. Cracking game for Chris Baldwin to call there this afternoon, and he's got Alfie Rutherford alongside him, because he's cup tied from this one. So here at the Silver Lake, 1-0 Eastleigh, and we are 1 3/4 minutes away from added time at the end of the first half. Eastleigh have got themselves a lead, and they've got a set piece opportunity here now. It's about 8 yards out from the goal, maybe 10, and it's over on the left hand side, only about 3 yards outside the penalty area. In it comes from Maguire, and he tries to do what he did from the edge of the area against Aldershot in the league and have a shot on goal, but that was a much tighter angle, and he always got that one wrong. He fizzed it in, but it was a little high, and was always going over Jordi van Stappershoef's crossbar. So not the best start for the shots here, but they're not out of this one yet. Nora Farnborough out of the game at Taunton, but they are further behind, 2-0 down at Taunton. Ball lifted over the top from Rowe is too strong. It'll go over the head of Joe Haig, who hasn't really been able to make the impact in this first half that he would have wanted to, and it goes all the way through to Tommy Scott, who's had a pretty pleasing first half in goal for Eastleigh. A couple of good saves, and he's held on to the one that he spilled. Ball over the top, and Tolaj looks to get onto that, but once again Eastleigh have an extra player on hand to clear forward in the shape of George Langston. Aldershot win it again with Frost, but his ball forward is cut out by Franchillette, and once again pulling the strings just inside the shots half is Chris Maguire. He's under a bit of pressure this time. Manages to send it out to the right hand side, where it is picked up by Langston. Langston's got an overlapping one from Baldwin, and Van Stappershoef comes off his line to double fist pump it up in the air. Eventually it finds its way into touch over on the far side. It will be a throw to Eastleigh. And as the 45 minutes are up here, there will be 3 added at the end of the first half, or a minimum of 3, by referee David McNamara. Here's Eastleigh building again. Maguire again involved. Nwabukai and Baldwin, little ball forward on the outside of his foot. Haig battling well to try and win it back for the shots, but Maguire's too good for him there. He's gone over, but and Haig's won the ball. No foul given. Haig plays it up to Tolaj. Tolaj holds it up and plays it nicely into the path of Haig. But straight away, 2 or 3 Eastleigh players swarm around him, and he has to go back inside rather than forward. He does now with Rowe. I think Rowe should be able to square it across to Haji Minoga, who comes across halfway here. We are 1 minute through, a minimum of 3 added on at the end of the first half here for the shots. Frost with the ball to Tolaj, touches it into the path of Minoga. He can't take it cleanly. He goes down. It's half cleared. Played back to the goalkeeper Tommy Scott, who kicked through his lines now. Kean Harries will be favourite to get on that one. He takes it down beautifully out of the sky and buys himself a time and options. In the end, he goes back to Rowe, and Rowe goes back to Van Stappershoef. And he might be one for the Aldershot Town management team, whichever ones of them allowed in the dressing room at half time. The shot's not quite firing here today. Is Tolaj looking for Harfield, who makes the run, but it's poorly hit by Harfield. Ball play forward again. Quigley demands a foul. Referee McNamara says no, and it is half time at Colchester there. Report to come from Gary Smith into Tim Durran's sports show at half time, but at this point in time Crawley leads, as do Dorking, but shots have it all to do. So do South Park in the FA Trophy. Here's Harfield on the left hand side, squares it. It's easy one to be cut out by George Langston, played across the floor, clipped up towards Maguire, who battles away with Harries. Harries puts his hand on the shoulder, impedes Maguire from going forward, and there was a defender and a striker in the middle, so he wasn't the last man. But it will be a yellow card to the Aldershot Town number 4, Kean Harries. It's the obligatory take one for the team yellow card there, because Maguire got a little flick on and it just went over the head of Harries, and he got the turn in and he was looking to pull away. He'd have been clear, albeit down the right channel, and Harries knew exactly what he was doing, was unlikely to catch him if he got away, and gave a little arms on the shoulder. There is the half-time whistle here at the Silver Lake. So Eastleigh 1, Aldershot Town 0, and the Aldershot Town assistant manager Richard Dryden sent off, probably I think for some choice language and dissent down on the touchline. So Tim, we'll hand it back to you. Not a great start for the shots down here against Eastleigh. 1-0 to the home side at half time. We'll hand it back to you, and you can see how the other teams are getting on and how the rest of the sport's going this afternoon.
Wonderful stuff, Rob Worrell, thank you. Great commentary. That's available online, and the second half here on BBC Radio Surrey coming up just after 4 o'clock for you. So Aldershot trailing, Dorking winning. We're going there in a moment's time. In fact, the half-time whistle has blown at Dorking. Let's get a summary of the half. Alfie Rutherford this afternoon alongside Chris Baldwin for half-time report.
And at half-time, Tim, it is Dorking Wanderers 3, Maidenhead United 0. What a thoroughly entertaining first half. If you're a Dorking Wanderers supporter, that is. They got off to a fantastic start. Bobby Joe Taylor, a neat bit of work down the right-hand side, ghosted past a couple of challenges. And then the ball, we think, eventually came off the sky blue shirt into the back of the net to give Mark Whiteside the perfect start. They added to that lead with a stunning strike from Bobby Joe Taylor from all of 20 yards after he was assisted by Luke Moore. Stunning strike with his left foot, a little dip of the shoulder straight into the top left-hand corner. And then just a couple of minutes before the break, they extended the lead still further as George Frankham managed to get to the byline and cut it back for James McShane, who just toe poked it home from all of about 6 yards yards out. It's a long way back for Maidenhead United, but Dorking Wanderers supporters will be thoroughly pleased with what they've seen in the opening 45 minutes. At half-time, it's Dorking Wanderers 3, Maidenhead United 0.
Wow, great stuff, Chris. Must be the Alfie Rutherford touch. Perhaps we'll have to pay him to do it every game. Let's find out how South Park are getting on. They were a goal down heading into half-time. It is, of course, huge game for them. Hereford, a couple of leagues above them. Let's get the half-time reporter, Edgar Street, Ben Shulman.
Yeah, in what's probably being described as South Park's biggest game in their history. South Park unfortunately trail here 1-0. It was a goal by former £1 million man Adam Rooney for Hereford. Poor defending by South Park allowed the ball in from the far hand side, and Adam Rooney was there for one of the easiest finishes of his career to nod home and be the difference between the two sides. South Park will be doubly frustrated given their defending was poor during that goal and the fact that they'd been on top up until that point. 3 good shots from Brisket, King and Murphy, but unfortunately just too weak to get past Hereford goalkeeper Curtis Pond. It looks like somebody's found 20p to put in the meter because the floodlights have come on, so visibility won't be an issue in the second half. Hereford 1, South Park 0.
20p goes a long way out there, doesn't it? You started it. There we go then. That is Ben Chilman. Sorry, he's not a left back for Chelsea. That is Ben Chilman at Edgar Street for us. Let us go to Gary Smith, who is not that Gary Smith. He's our Gary Smith. He's watching Colchester Crawley, and it's going all rather well for Scott Lindsay. He might have to come and talk to us before every game, Gary.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just thinking that, and Ken and I are both quite pleased at the moment that this game got the go-ahead as well, Tim, because Crawley lead by 1-0 at the break. Colchester started the better of the two sides. A couple of early chances for their striker Samson Tavide. Fizzed across the 6-yard box. He got something on it, but he couldn't quite poke it goalwards. Crawley started to get back into the game after 37 minutes. Liam Kelly had a great opportunity. One long clearance from the goalkeeper, Luca Ashby-Hammond, over the top of the Colchester defence. He found himself one-on-one, but he didn't quite have the pace to outrun the Colchester defence, and it just screwed wide of the post. But he got his just rewards after 41 minutes. Will Wright on the right-hand side played it into the box, got a little bit fortunate to get a second chance, but on the second go he picked out Liam Kelly just inside the penalty area, and a low right-footed shot down to the left-hand side of goalkeeper Goodman, and into the bottom corner is the goal that divides the two sides at the break. Interesting stat for you, Tim, as well. When Crawley won at Grimsby in their only away win so far this season, Liam Kelly got the opening goal that afternoon as well. So we're hoping that's a bit of an omen, and they lead here at Colchester by 1-0 at the break.
Could be a really big result, Gary. Thank you very much indeed. Remember, they started the day just 4 points off the playoffs. 13th they are, but remember they were scrabbling around the basement of the league for a couple of seasons, 2 or 3 seasons. So this is looking very good for Crawley. They're 1 up. Sutton's game at home to Harrogate, that was called off earlier today, around about 1 o'clock. So that game is off. And in National League South, not going too well for Farnborough, who themselves are 4 points adrift of the playoffs in that division. They're 2-0 down away at Taunton, who began the league below them, began the day below them. Well, let's find out what's happening elsewhere for you. Is, of course, been a busy day. Rugby, Premier League football and 4-legged horses. Let's go catch up with Cameron.
Yes, thank you very much, Tim. Let's begin with the big race of the day at Sandown Park in Esher. The Group 1 Betfair Tingle Creek Chase took place at 3 p.m, and we can now relive all of the action with BBC Racing's commentator John Hunt.
Very soft and establishes Ian, the top 2-mile chaser around. 4 runners, Nubinegra struggling a little bit. Third last fence, Haddock's Des Obeaux is the leader for the informed Gary Moore stable. He's had 3 winners today. Hot favourite John Bon in second place, just nudged along for the first time, and Edward Stone turns to the second last fence in third place. He was last year's winner. John Bon, a small error there, but so too the leader, Haddock's Des Obeaux, and the two of them come close together. Edward Stone not out of this either. Running now down towards the final fence in the Tingle Creek. John Bon will have a narrow lead here. John Bon over safely, touches down with a length and a half advantage over Edward Stone and Haddock's Des Obeaux onto the run-in. An uphill finish here in heavy going, but John Bon just loves it, and he powers up the hill to win the Tingle Creek for Nicky Henderson and jockey Nico de Bonville. John Bon continues his rise to the top. He's already there. He beats Edward Stone and Haddock's Des Obeaux in great style.
Moving on to football, in the Premier League's early kickoff, Liverpool beat Crystal Palace as they scored yet again in stoppage time.
Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 2, Harvey Elliott with the goal, brilliant finish from about 16 yards out into the bottom right hand corner, and Crystal Palace, the 10 men of Crystal Palace, have finally succumbed.
Surrey's Harvey Elliott grabbed the winner for Jurgen Klopp's side as they are now top of the table, with Arsenal to play Aston Villa at 5:30 this evening. Let's look at the half-time scores then in our 3 p.m. kickoffs as well. Bournemouth have the lead at Old Trafford as Dominic Solanke got the goal for the Cherries. Nottingham Forest are drawing with Wolves at the moment as it's a big game for Steve Cooper as his future as Nottingham Forest manager. Rumours are that if they do lose today, he could be sacked. Sheffield United have scored on the stroke of half-time as James McAtee has got the lead against Brentford, whilst it's the Albion who are trailing at the moment. Burnley have the lead, and you're reminded you can listen to that match, all of the half-time roundup on BBC Radio Sussex at the moment with Johnny Cantor and ex-Albion striker Warren Aspinall. A huge match, as I've already mentioned, at 5:30 as Arsenal travel to Villa Park, who themselves are in a rich run of form at the moment, especially at home as they beat Manchester City during the week. Arsenal's Arteta says that Aston Villa counterpart Unai Emery gets the best out of his teams. Emery was sacked as manager of Arsenal during his second season in charge in 2019. The Spaniard has now taken Aston Villa to third in the Premier League table.
Well, the first season they had a quite strong season, and he did it straight away after coming from PSG, and he's carried on. After he went to Villarreal, he did incredibly well, and now he's doing really well at Aston Villa. He's had a lot of experience and skill to get the best out of teams.
In the Villa dugout now, Unai Emery says that the team will face its biggest challenge yet.
We are confident at home. We are feeling very good and strong at home with our structure, with our supporters, in Villa Park. The energy we have there is amazing, but it's really the biggest challenge we are going to face until today.
Elsewhere in rugby, a huge match in National 2 East as two of our sides went head-to-head this afternoon. Dorking did sit top of the table on 53 points with Esher just 2 points behind, but the match has ended 19-38 to Esher as they now jump above the opposition in the table. Tennis, and Nick Kyrgios says that he will not take part in the Australian Open in January because of ongoing injury concerns. The 28-year-old Australian missed all 4 major tournaments last year, and a reminder that there's no Guildford Flames this weekend, but Surrey Scorchers do play tomorrow at 3 p.m. That's all from me with your latest sporting headlines.
That is Pink. She's all out of fight. What about Aldershot Town? A goal down. We're back there in a moment's time. They have work to do if they're going to stay in the FA Trophy. A reminder, not that you'll need it if you're a Shots fan. Huge game Wednesday night. We haven't, I'm afraid, got internet commentary. We're hoping that BBC Manchester might do it for you, but we will, of course, cover the game. Our commentary will be available on the club highlights as they are every week with Rob and the team, and they will be put out for you the next day. And, of course, there'll be coverage if the Shots get through, which would be amazing, in the breakfast show with James Cannon and the team. In fact, it's Claire Cowan next week. James off for a bit of R&R, so Claire in next week. So a reminder where we are in the Football League. Crawley Town winning through Liam Kelly on 41 minutes away to Colchester United. Sutton's game postponed around 1 o'clock today. In the Trophy, Aldershot Town work to do, a goal down to former player Jaden Harris on 8 minutes. Woking's game called off this morning. It was this morning. Dorking in really good shape, 3-0 up at home to Maidenhead. South Park 1-0 down away to Hereford United. Adam Rooney on 28 minutes. Farnborough 2-0 down away to Taunton Town in National League South. In the Premier League, a win already for Liverpool. Burnley are beating Brighton at the Amex. Manchester United losing to Bournemouth at Old Trafford. It's 1-1 between Wolves and Nottingham Forest. And at 5:30 tonight, Villa Arsenal. Huge win for Esher to turn the tables literally in National 2 East this afternoon. Esher go top for the first time this season. Dorking, the long-time leaders, beaten at home by Esher 38-19. And Jean Bon won his 5th Grade 1 win. They're winning the Tingle Creek Chase this afternoon. Beat a bit of Cliff at Christmas, mistletoe and wine. Good afternoon, Saturday Sport. Crawley winning in League 2 in the Trophy at the moment. Aldershot going out, they're a goal down. Dorking going through, they're 3-0 up. and Hereford United dumping out South Park. But there is work to do. Let's go back to our commentary game. They've just got underway. The referee has finally finished whatever he was doing. It's Eastleigh 1, Aldershot 0. Rob Worrell at the Silver Lake Stadium.
You missed very little other than another centre forward posturing that he may have been fouled, and a referee just looking at him, shaking his head and saying no chance. Eastleigh have gone back to their goalkeeper now, Tommy Scott, who had it confirmed at half-time it is his Eastleigh debut, and he's kept a clean sheet thus far. I'll run through the sides in full in just a minute, but Eastleigh are coming forward now on the right-hand side with Langston. Finds Baldwin. He's going one-on-one up against Glover. Clips across in. Chest down from Quigley. Looking for his strike partner, McCallum. Can't find him. Shots cleared away. Wabukai plucks it out of the sky. Sends it left to the number 18, Bailey Clements, who sends across into the area. That's cut out by Harries. It'll go behind for the first corner of the second half. Eastleigh's 6th of the game. Aldershot have had just the one. And it is the I nearly called them the spy rights there. It's the Spitfires. You'll forgive me, I get the R's and the F's the wrong way around. The Spitfires, who are firing a little bit more than the shots so far this afternoon. We are in the 47th minute. And it is the Spitfires won the shots 0. In comes the corner, and it somehow evades everybody. Goes right across the penalty area. There must have been 18 players in that penalty area, and somehow the ball fizzed across the 6-yard line and past everybody. Drifted into touch. Aldershot will have a throw in the left back position, but meanwhile they have a problem. A player is down and in some discomfort for Aldershot. I'll identify him for you in just a moment when I can. He's been helped to his feet by Kobe Rowe, and I can confirm that it's not Tyler Frost and it's not Haji Minoga. It's Kwame Thomas, and that's he's limping a little bit gingerly to his feet. He doesn't require treatment at this stage, but with Jack Barham on the bench today, but not necessarily fully fit, Kwame Thomas will want to be able to try and get through this game if he can. Still limping a little bit gingerly away on the left hand side. Here's Eastleigh on attack. Clements gets it back from McCallum, but Haji Minoga does brilliantly to win it and then get away from his man. Plays it inside to Frost, who gives it back to him. Nice 1-2. Can Haji Minoga keep it in play? He can just. Now he turns inside and finds Frost again. Frost sees a forward run from Haig, but it's really well read by Franchilette, and he feeds Chris Maguire, who twists and turns and eventually goes back to Hodson. And Eastleigh look comfortable with this 1-0 lead. Sharp turn there from Franchilette, managed to outwit Tolaj. Feeds Hodson, who sends it inside to Chris Maguire. Ball out to the right hand side, taken nicely by Jaden Harris, and feeds Baldwin on the right hand side. He can go one-on-one up against Glover. He finds Quigley on the edge of the area. Can he make room for a shot? No. Sends it further left to Clements. Cross comes in. Header from McCallum. He nips just in front of Harries, goes wide. That's right at the beginning of the 49th minute here at the Silver Lake. It remains Eastleigh 1, Aldershot Town 0. So McCallum with the first effort of the second half with a header just wide. Did well to get to the ball in front of Harries. Here's Haig chasing the ball through that will run all the way back to the Eastleigh goalkeeper Tommy Scott. And very soon we will pay our first visits of the second half to our other featured games this afternoon. And when we do so, we'll go first to Gary Smith at Colchester, where Crawley led 1-0 at half-time. As shots go back all the way to Van Stappershoef. Let's bring in Gary Smith now and just see how Crawley have started on the back of that 1-0 half-time lead, Gary.
Yeah, still 1-0, Rob. We had a little bit of a stoppage a few moments ago because Tavide and Conroy had a little bit of a coming together that's led to Tavide having to be helped off the pitch. Looked like he's damaged his left knee possibly in the challenge with Conroy, and it's John Akinde who's come on as the sub. That's a name that a lot of people know. I'm sure he's come up against you with the shots and everything, Rob, in the past, but he's on the pitch here for Colchester, but no change in the scoreline. It's still Colchester 0, Crawley Town 1.
Thank you very much indeed, Gary Smith. Colchester 0, Crawley 1 there. Here it's 1-0 to the Spitfires. Good 1-2. Clements ends up on the floor. Mr. Minoga had something to do with it, but not illegally, according to our referee David McNamara, who's let this game flow when he can. Tolaj tries a turn, doesn't come off. Haig comes away with the ball. He goes down just inside the penalty area. Penalty to Aldershot Town, or is it a free kick? I thought the shove was on the line and he fell inside the line. The referee's looking at the spot and he's showing a red card. So I would imagine as Fran Chillette is going to get the red card for Eastleigh. Oh, the irony that a home player has been sent off in this game. 3 times in the past an Aldershot player's gone off. But I think the referee's given a free kick edge of the box and a red card. He still hasn't made it eminently clear. He was definitely looking at the spot and it was right on the line. And we still await confirmation. What we do know is that Fran Chillette's afternoon is over. It's a red card for Ludwig Fran Chillette, the number 6. And so Aldershot, who seem to be dogged by bad luck here at the Silver Lake on lots of occasions, might just have a way back into this one here. And the referee now confirms he's given the free kick on the edge of the box. Clear shove by Fran Chillette on Joe Haig as he was approaching the penalty area. The shove there or thereabouts on the line, Haig falling clearly inside the box, and the referee, well, very decisive with the action that he's taken. Will that prove to be the lesser of two evils for the Spitfires? We'll have to see. They remain 1-0 up. Aldershot don't have a penalty, but Eastleigh are down to 10 men. Harfield and Tolaj are over it, and I think Tolaj has got this. He takes it just over the bar, only probably 8, 10, 12 inches over the bar. Not a bad effort, looking for the top left-hand corner. It will be a goal kick to Eastleigh, so it remains 1-0 here to Eastleigh. Eastleigh a man down. But let's go back to Ben Chilman at Edgar Street, where a controversial decision there, Ben?
Yeah, Hereford thought they'd gone 2-0 up here. Jason Cowley had put the ball into the back of the net for the home side through another bit of poor defending by the South Park players at the back, but it was ruled out for offside. From our angle here in the commentary position, couldn't quite see it, but there was a lot of angst amongst the Hereford fans as a shot comes in from South Park just as you speak to me, and the deflection just takes it far enough away. But first shot of the second half for South Park came in from the captain Ryan Healy, and it's all to play for here. Still Hereford 1, South Park 0.
Squared across. Thank you very much indeed, Ben. Kobe Rowe has just cut out a corner, a ball for a corner, which has disappeared over the social club roof. So another one comes on. It's been advised by my producer that it's a little bit more Franchillet than Francilette. But either way, however his name is pronounced, he is no longer part of the action here at the Silver Lake. He has been sent off for that shove in the back of Joe Haig as he carried the ball into the penalty area. Might have had a good chance of his first shot's goal. Corner taken by Eastleigh is cleared away by Ollie Harfield, only as far as Jaden Harris, and he finds Chris Maguire again. He twists one way then the other. He'll clip the ball in with his left foot. It's missed by everybody, and Aldershot couldn't quite clear it away with Haji Minoga. Stumbled and it just bounced off of him straight into the path of Paul McCallum, who yet again scores against Aldershot Town, and that will be one of the easiest goals Paul McCallum's ever scored. 2 yards out, literally just tapping it across the line. Van Stappershoef didn't come. Minoga was caught leaden-footed, and the ball just bounced off him into the path of Paul McCallum. And just as you thought that Aldershot Town might have a way back into this game, they go 2-0 down to the 10 men of Eastleigh. McCallum's 19th goal of a prolific season. Far and away the top scorer in the National League, certainly when you include all competitions. And what a blow that is for the Shots, who went 1-0 down after 8 minutes. They had assistant manager Richard Dryden sent off on 23 minutes. And then Francillet sent off 51 minutes in for Eastleigh, only for Eastleigh to score a second 3 minutes later. Here's Aldershot. Can they come from 2-0 down to win a match for the third time this season? And only the third time in 16 years, because as regular Shots fans will know, prior to that happening against Maidenhead this season at the EBB, it hadn't happened in 16 years. They then did it again at Bromley, and now they find themselves down 2-0 down against 10 men. Here at Eastleigh, there's a nicely taken ball by Glover, who's got a ball inside now. 1-2s from Aldershot, and they've just pushed it back out the area, lost it, picked up again by Harfield. Glover's looking to go past his man, pulls it back. Is it out of play? Yes, it is. And an Eastleigh defender just got a foot on it as it was about to roll nicely into the path of Shot Swiss striker Laurent Tolage. And what a strange afternoon we're having here at the Silver Lake. Let's catch up on our other two games this afternoon as well. Let's go to Chris Baldwin next, if we can, at Dorking. A goal-laden first half for Dorking, with Bobby Joe Taylor getting at least one of them. And prolific scorer Alfie Rutherford in the commentary box alongside your good self. Chris Baldwin, how's it going now?
And it remains Dorking Wanderers 3, Maidenhead United 0. Incidentally, we believe that first goal is officially an own goal. But yeah, Dorking Wanderers still looking quite lively at the moment. Maidenhead United haven't really threatened at all in that final third of the field. And if they're to remain in this competition, they really need to get a goal quite shortly. But at the moment, Dorking Wanderers looking very, very comfortable in possession. Haven't been really too many chances in this second half, but with that 3-0 lead, that's not really unexpected. It remains Dorking Wanderers 3, Maidenhead United 0.
Thank you very much, Chris Baldwin. Aldershot are readying a sub here at the Silver Lake. It's Ollie Scott, who's not appeared for a while. Frost with a good ball round the corner finds Haig. A couple of touches to get it under control, and now he drifts himself out to the left-hand side where he feeds Ryan Glover. Glover's got Harfield on the overlap here. Looks more comfortable now he's back on the left side where he played a lot more previously. Minoga tries to get a ball in that's cut out by Maguire. Back to Frost. Frost gives it back to Minoga. Minoga now wriggling to try and get away. Finds Frost again. Frost running to the edge of the area. Tries a foot in towards Tollard. He can't get it under control. Eastleigh have won it. They play it back to Scott, and he plays it forward to the left-hand side, and they're not too ambitious, and they don't need to be too ambitious really from this point with their 10 men Eastleigh, because they have a precious second goal given to them by Paul McCallum, his 19th goal of the season. So Joe Haig, who was shoved over for the free kick, not the penalty, for which Francillet was sent off. We're going to go over straight away to Colchester, where Gary Smith, there may be a penalty in that one. Gary, bring us up to date.
He goes into double figures for the season, and Crawley double their lead inside the 64th minute. Danilo Orsi from the spot, and that second away win looks ever closer. Colchester 0, Crawley Town 2, Ken.
Goal. And back here now at Eastleigh. Aldershot have won themselves a corner, just their second of the game by my reckoning. And well, if they're going to get back into this one, they're going to need to end Eastleigh's clean sheet pretty soon. They haven't looked anywhere near their potent best this afternoon. So Crawley 2-0 up at Colchester, Dorking 3-0 up at against Maidenhead. Aldershot have taken the corner short. It's been poked into touch by Jaden Harris, so Aldershot's corner has turned into a throw, which is taken 10 yards inside the Eastleigh half by Harfield. He gets the ball back from Minoga and gives it back to him. And Aldershot will see plenty of the ball now, I'm sure, in the remaining 30 minutes plus whatever's added. but can they penetrate this Eastleigh defence? Pretty decent home form this season. Here's Rowe coming over halfway now. Minoga wants it. Ideally, Maguire positions himself well, so in the end Rowe goes to Tollage, who plays it inside to Frost. Aldershot looking calm and composed, not panicking here, but 2-0 down, plenty to do. Is Willard tries a little clip over his man, does the first one, the second time he can't do it, and then it's cleared away by Bailey Clements back there working into a position up on the left side for Eastleigh, but there's no players in blue up there. Rowe wins it, feeds it through Harries to Harfield, over to the left hand side now to Ollie Scott, and Aldershot have lost out. Glover's lost out to Jaden Harris, who's so good at picking pockets. A clipped ball over the top, Quigley running onto it, and he's up against Ollie Scott. Bit of a physical mismatch there, squared over, looking for McCallum, who just gets his foot to it in front of Rowe, turns a little effort on goal, and Van Stapperschoof traps it under some part of his body and keeps that one out. So we're in the 62nd minute here, and it remains Eastleigh 2, Aldershot Town 0. And ball through the middle, looking for Tollage, is cut out by the Eastleigh number 14 Lee Hodgson. And 4-4-1 pretty much Eastleigh are playing with the 10 men, and they're going to bring on though the man that Van Stapperschoof took out when he was sent off in that league game, if I remember correctly, Aidan Barlow. He's going to come on for Eastleigh, and not quite sure who's coming off just yet for it is Paul McCallum. I think he just got a little niggle there as he tried to turn that ball towards goal a couple of minutes ago. So Quigley will play up the middle now pretty much on his own. Barlow will join the first bank of four that Aldershot Town need to penetrate on the right hand side of it, with Harris and Nabwukai in the middle, and Maguire kind of falling into a possession probably a little bit more permanent than he'd like to be. As Frost tries a through ball to Minoga, he's in on the right hand side of the penalty area, squares it, and it's cut out really well by the number 14 Lee Hodgson for Eastleigh to put it behind for a corner. Just behind him, lurking ominously, was Lauren Tollage, and it's another corner to the Shots, who are gradually catching up with the Eastleigh corner count. 6 to Eastleigh, 4 to the Shots. Glover's going to take this one. Still not a great atmosphere in the ground. It may liven up if Shots can get themselves a goal back. The corner's taken short to Harfield. The cross comes into the far post, headed down by Kwame Thomas. Harris can't get onto it. Barlow can. He stumbles. And a little bit of doubt as to whether he stumbled or was caught there. And the referee decides he was caught, and he gives the free kick, which kind of sums things up for Aldershot. Jack Barham is deemed to be fit because he's going to come on for the last 26.5 minutes this afternoon, and it's Tommy Willard who's going to go off. A similar change that Tommy Widrington has made, or the Aldershot management team has made in previous games when they have needed goals. So the Shots now have Tollage, Barham and Kwame Thomas all on the pitch, and they look as if they're going to line up with a 3-4-3, or as it is at the minute, out of possession, a 5-2-3. Huge free kick taken by Scott. Ball's bounced down kindly for Eastleigh on the far side. Quigley there up against Harfield, who battles away well against him and wins the throw, and he's already taken it and found Ollie Scott, who's fed the ball to Cian Harries. And Aldershot Town, if you're going to go further in the FA Trophy, it's time to deliver. Great take from Barham, gets in, shoots, what a goal! First touch for Jack Barham, ghosting onto the pass, controlling it beautifully and half volleying it past Scott. Eastleigh's clean sheet has gone, Scott's debut clean sheet has gone, and the Shots are back in it just a minute and a half after Jack Barham's come on And finally we hear the Shots fans in full voice over on the far side. Jack Barham with his 11th goal of the season nestles in now, one behind Josh Stokes, who's got 12, and Lauren Tallard 15 in all competitions. The Shots back in it. Eastleigh 2, Shots 1. Eastleigh down to 10 men. Shots have had a red card too, but it was on the bench. Ball sent across the Aldershot town area. Barlow and Scott will battle away for it. It's played by Barlow off of Scott, but it drifts into the path of Harfield. And the script's been written here with Jack Barham coming on and scoring that goal, because Aldershot Town are now threatening to do what they hadn't done in 16 years for a third time this season. Long way to go, of course. They still trail, and this is a cup competition, so most important is that second goal. There's another ball in looking for Barham, and he gets there just behind Scott. And for Jack Barham, his decision was, do I try and nick it and then pop it into the goal, or do I feel a bit of contact and go down? He was honest, he stayed on his feet, and Scott, to his credit, got there just in front of Barham. So 2 chances in 2 minutes for Jack Barham. I may need to just double check this, but I think it might have been Frost actually who found the pass. Here's Aldershot getting in again. Lauren Tallard on his left foot shoots. That's spilled, but gathered again at the second attempt by Tallard. And Aldershot Town have come alive here in the space of 3 minutes. They've had 3 chances, the first of which was taken by Jack Barham. Ghosted onto the through ball, took it down beautifully, and then hit it on the half volley, and no chance in the Eastleigh goal for Tommy Scott. So 67 minutes gone here. Eastleigh 2, Aldershot Town 1. It's probably time we went back and had a word with Ben Chilman at Edgar Street, where South Park have been given a good account of themselves this afternoon. When we last heard, they trailed to Hereford. What's the latest, Ben?
Yeah, halfway through the second half here at Edgar Street, Rob, and indeed South Park have had a good showing against the higher graded opposition in Hereford. South Park only 5 minutes ago had a good shot from captain Ryan Healy that had to be well saved by Hereford goalkeeper Curtis Pond. Hereford have just pushed it up the gears in the last few minutes, and Jason Cowley has hit the post. But yes, as the sunlight's dropped, the temperature's dropped with it. It's a good day for Bovril sales here at Edgar Street. Remains Hereford 1, South Park 0.
10 yards out. Back here at the Silver Lake, Aldershot have had a chance with Ryan Glover. Patient build-up. May or may not have taken a bobble, but he sent it high up into the stand behind the goal. But it's the 4th chance in 4 minutes for Aldershot Town, who suddenly have come alive. It's almost as if they've reminded themselves of what they're capable of, and they're going to go try and do it again. Our next port of call in a couple of minutes will be to Chris Baldwin again at Dorking. We'll go to him. Pretty quiet second half there compared to the first, where Dorking got themselves a 3-goal lead against Maidenhead. And here the Shots are back in it. Rowe with the ball out to the right hand side. If anyone can keep that in, it's Minoga, but I think he'll struggle. It will just drift into touch right down by the corner flag, and he's fast, Minoga, but he's not that fast. 69 minutes gone now. Eastleigh with the defensive throw, and Aldershot have asked a few questions, and Eastleigh are just a goal up now, and they're down to 10. So that's their job from here on in, to see it through. Play it forward. Harries picks it up, sends it out to the left-hand side to Ollie Scott, who's going up against Barlow. Can he get his cross in? He can, and it's headed behind for another corner. And the Shots have gone level on corners now. A much better second half. I've got to say, really, a much better from 60 minutes on, really. It's only in the last 8 or 9 minutes that the Shots have come alive. But Jack Barham's got him back into this one with his 11th goal of the season. Scored in the first minute at Swindon, had a great chance to score in the first minute against Stockport last Sunday, and he scored in the first minute he was on the pitch today. Ollie Harfield's going to take this one. A left-footed out-swinging corner. In it comes, bounces once, and Rowe gets it and goes down. Kwame Thomas will battle away with Chris Maguire for it inside the penalty area. Oh, elaborate turn by Maguire leaves Kwame Thomas standing, and a ball down the line from Eastleigh will stay in, but it will glide past Quigley. Minoga can pick that up. And, well, Aldershot have got at least 20 minutes, plus whatever's added, to go and find themselves a second goal and keep their FA Trophy season alive against the 10 men of Aldershot of Eastleigh. And, you know, with the amount of goals Aldershot have scored this season, you wouldn't bet against them doing it. Here's a ball clipped over the top from Harries. Again, it's Barham. Oh, again he takes it down well, and this time he fizzes his shot high and wide. But incredibly, it's 5 efforts on goal for Aldershot in the space of 6 minutes. And if they keep up this level of creating chances, then they might have a very good chance of getting back into this one. Their nemesis this afternoon has been the former shot Jaden Harris, who receives generous applause from 3/4 of the ground. Nigel Attengana, rested from the starting lineup today, comes on for Harris. And, well, the Eastleigh temporary boss, the director of football, Richard Hill, has seen enough and rung the changes. Goal kick then from Eastleigh is missed by Quigley, and he wins a free kick because he got a little helping hand from Cian Harris, who needs to be a little bit careful because he's been yellow carded this afternoon as well, and probably doesn't have another 1 or 2 fouls in him. Referee not seeking to be one of the more dramatic ascension seeking ones, quietly going about his business. But this free kick now some 15-20 yards inside the Aldershot half. The defensive line is about 3 yards outside the Aldershot town penalty box, and the ball's played short from Maguire into Barlow. He gets the ball back and he's up against Scott now, goes back to Barlow. Barlow gets his cross in, Aldershot head on it, but it's only going to run through to Baldwin. It's picked up by the substitute Attengana, who exchanges passes with Baldwin, gives it back to Baldwin again. He sends a ball into the far post and it's headed away. Clipped back in from Chris Maguire. Not quite sure if he was trying to arrow that literally into the top bins with the outside of his right foot, but it was too high and wide. Goes behind, goal kick to the shots. So let's go then to Chris Baldwin at Meadowbank and see what on earth's happened. No goals in the second half, Chris.
And it remains Dorking Wanderers 3, Maidenhead United 0. Maidenhead United have had plenty of possession in this second half, as you would expect, but again they're not really fashioning any kind of opportunities at all. We've had a couple of substitutions made for both sides. Bobby Joe Taylor making way for Seb Bauman a little bit earlier. Great to see Seb Bauman back in action once again following his recent operation, of course, and Isaac Philpott on for Barry Fuller. And a couple of changes also made by Alan Devonshire, the Magpies boss, as well, with Alan Macy and Lewis Kinsella on for Brad Keach and Remy Clarima, who went off injured. But at the moment Dorking Wanderers are cruising through to the fourth round. It remains Dorking Wanderers 3, Maidenhead United 0.
Thank you very much, Chris. We welcome the BBC Surrey listeners back on the radio to news that the Shots have levelled with their 6th opportunity in the space of 9 minutes. And it was a triple opportunity. Harfield got away down the left. He pulled it back to Frost, who didn't really get his shot away. And then Tollage got hold of it and he had a shot blocked. It rebounded to Minoga and the odds were against him, but he managed to rifle a low shot into the net. And from nowhere, the shots have come from 2 down again. They've just got some defending to do here, and given away a free kick. A similar position to the one that we had just a couple of minutes ago, about 15-20 yards in from the right hand side, about 25 yards into the Aldershot town half, and we've got 74.5 minutes on the clock, and we find ourselves level here at the Silver Lake, where in the 74th minute Haji Minoga has levelled for the Shots. Free kick though to Eastleigh. That's headed away by Minoga. Shot comes in, and it's a good one from Atangana. It's dipping, but it dips just over the crossbar. And, Eastleigh, they're down to 10 men, and they've conceded twice now, and on a ground that very rarely has provided any fortune for Aldershot. The game started to turn, not immediately when Franchillet was sent off in the 51st minute, but some 10 minutes later, all of a sudden Aldershot getting through almost at will, and now they seek a win inside 90 minutes. Here's Harfield chesting the ball down, but he can't completely get it under control, and Baldwin wins it and feeds the ball to Barlow. Haven't had absolute confirmation, listeners, but I'd be very, very surprised if the sides do get the choice. I don't think there's extra time now. I think it would I need to find out whether it would go to a replay or straight to penalties. Aidan Barlow is coming down the right hand side, squares it in, it's cut out easily by Cian Harries, and we'll try and get confirmation for you, listeners, on what would happen if it does end 2-2. Here's Tolaj taking the ball nicely under control and spreading it out to the left hand side to Ollie Scott. Scott finds Glover, and Aldershot send it forward again on the right hand side. Frost receives it, he's not given offside, he's got Manoga up there with him, and Aldershot are getting in time after time after time. There won't be any replay, there won't be any extra time, it's straight to penalties if it's a draw. Here's Tolaj taking the ball down on his chest inside the box. Can he find Frost with the overlapping run? No, he can't. And Eastleigh come forward. Oh, great tackle from Haji Manoga, the man who's got Aldershot Town level this afternoon with his, I think it's his second goal of the season. I'll confirm that as well. Throw in to Eastleigh. No, it's his third goal of the season. But here's Glover slipping the ball into Tolaj, squares it, and it goes behind, and it'll be another. Oh no, it won't be a corner. It'll be a goal kick. A little bit of uncertainty amongst the officials and the Shots fans over on the far side, and this one thing that has gone Eastleigh's way in the last 10 minutes. I don't think any of us saw this coming at half time, but a game that in truth has lacked spark at times, has come alive in the second half, as of the Shots fans away to our right. Eastleigh 2, Aldershot Town 2. Quigley can't get that under control. Harries lifts it forward. Scott comes to the edge of his area, and an offside's given, but the goalkeeper's cleared it away, so no Aldershot player touched the ball or even threatened to. I don't quite understand that one. Maybe I don't understand the rules. It will be a free kick to Eastleigh, almost level with the assistant referee, who's pointing out very clearly and firmly where it would need to be taken from. Pete Stamford, the Aldershot Town Club statistician, confirming as my producer and presenter, Tim Durrance, that it goes straight to penalties if it's 2-2 at half time. But right now Aldershot will probably feel it doesn't need to go that far. Here's Haji Manoga coming forward. He feeds Ryan Glover. Glover with a lovely ball out to the left to Ollie Scott, who's wriggled free. Cross comes in. It's cleared away by the Eastleigh number 14, Lee Hodgson. Throw in to the Shots in front of their fans over on the far side. And Harfield takes it quickly to Glover. Thomas and Barham want the cross. Cross comes in from the left. Kwame Thomas is up, it's come back out to him, follow up, shot, half cleared, blocked on the line. Eastleigh are at 6s and 7s right now. Aldershot are tearing into them, attack after attack after attack. Here's Frost, he's going to send another ball in, it's flicked on, missed, bounces over everybody, it will go off. And Barlow chased it hard like it was going behind for a corner, but I concur with the officials, that one is a goal kick. And Aldershot Town, with a little bit of composure here on one or two of these chances, might well yet see this one won inside normal time. Let's be clear, it's the third time this season Aldershot Town have come from 2-0 down to get level at 2-2. On the other two occasions they went on to win 4-2 and 3-2. Can they do so again for a third time in what is a quite remarkable season? And Greg Thornett says that FA Trophy games all go straight to penalties, except for the final where there's extra time if it's level after 90 minutes. We're a long way from that now, but is Tolaj getting forward? Can he pull it back? He's looking for Barham, but Hodgson clears it away. Boldwine tries a 1-2, it doesn't come off. Clover's going to clip it back into the area. Can Minoga keep it in? He sends it back across goal and over the bar, behind for a goal kick. But Aldershot Town are creating chances approximately every minute and a half here at the Silver Lake, and it remains Eastleigh 2, Aldershot Town 2. About time we started going back around those grounds again, and let's start in the order in which we started the day. So Colchester against Crawley. Last time we heard from Gary Smith, Crawley had doubled their lead from the penalty spot. Danilo Orsi. How's it going now, Gary?
Well, that's exactly how it stands, Rob. We're inside the last 4.5 minutes of the 90, and it's Colchester 0, Crawley Town 1. Liam Kelly just before the break, and Danilo Orsi with the penalty that takes him into double figures for the season in the build-up to what we thought was a goal, because Orsi poked the ball into the back of the net, but the ref had already pulled it back for a foul as Crawley attack again here with Orsi, who slides one out to the far side. Darcy getting in on goal on that far side, but the deflection is going to break for the keeper. Although it's been flagged on the far side, it will be a corner. 4 minutes to go here, Rob. Sorry to go on for a little bit. 4 minutes to go. Colchester 0, Crawley Town 2.
So Colchester 0, Crawley 2 there. Here at the Silver Lake, it's all square 2-all. Eastleigh, remember, down to 10. Aldershot have got themselves a corner. It's taken short to Glover. Glover now finds Frost. He's the edge of the area. He's coming forward. Is he going to try a shot? He does. It's just wide. He caught it really, really well. And there was that momentary ooh on the lips of the Shot supporters who wondered if that one might just nestle. Hasn't been a prolific season in front of goal for Tyler Frost, but he's done an awful lot of work in the heart of the Shots midfield. He knows he caught that one well. He's so frustrated about it. Goal kick then to Eastleigh, and while they set up to take that, let's go back to Dorking. Chris Baldwin, any further changes to the scoreline there from that 3-0 lead Dorking had?
The Altrincham game was obviously called off, so I played with Joel last weekend. As you can tell, he's not the biggest lad, but technically he's brilliant. I think a few people will be surprised.
And what an absolutely great opportunity for him.
Oh yeah, fantastic opportunity. And obviously it couldn't come at a better time, being 3-0 up. He can just go out there and express himself and enjoy himself.
Radio listeners, 3-0 there. And back here at the Silver Lake, it's still 3-0 then there at Dorking against Maidenhead. They look as if they're going to have safe progression. Dorking Wanderers. Eastleigh thought at 2-0 up they might have safe progression, but Aldershot Town have got other ideas now as 10-man Eastleigh find themselves pegged back to 2-all. Here's Harries, who's won it. Can't go in against Nwabukai because he's on a yellow. And the referee's stopped play for something. I'm not sure what it is. It is a substitution for Eastleigh, who are going to bring on Corey Panther. And he's going to come on for Solomon Nwabukai. And so fresh legs called upon in midfield for the home side who've... well, I said they've got another 6.5 minutes to see out, but it is 2-all, so it would go to straight to penalties as it stands. Corey Panther coming on, and while that substitution's taking place, let's go and speak to Ben Chilman, who's travelled to Edgar Street this afternoon with South Park for Hereford against South Park in the FA Trophy.
Yeah, it's still Hereford 1, South Park 0, but South Park's best chance of the second half just came in but a minute ago. Ethan Kaiser strolled through the Hereford midfield, something South Park haven't been able to do consistently all afternoon, but got a shot off from about 25 yards out, and it whistled just past the left-hand post of Curtis Pond's net in the Hereford goal. But it remains Hereford 1, South Park 0. We go straight to penalties. It's still all to play for.
90 minutes. Ball over the top from Kobe Rowe here, bounces awkwardly. Tolaj hits it on the volley, right-footed, and it goes over the bar. It's another opportunity for shots, and they've had twice as many in the second half already as they did the first. We've got 5.5 minutes plus whatever's added, and then straight to penalties if it stays like this. So for big chunks of this afternoon, we wondered if BBC Radio Surrey Sport had got themselves the best game or the right game this afternoon. It's looking more and more like they might have done. Mike Brown says Jaden Harris man of the match up to 70 minutes. Currently though, he reckons Haji Minoga. He said we want a winner, we don't want penalties. And one or two other messages in as well. Ball over the top though for shots is headed away, and it will be picked up by the substitute Atangana. His cushion header is kept in on the far side by Hodgson, and he plays that inside, and then it's played up towards halfway where Baldwin holds it up, and Glover gets an important foot in to poke possession back to the blue and white shirted Aldershot Town. Rowe sends the ball to Minoga. Minoga feeds Frost. Good tackle from Atangana, who's come on and done exactly what his boss Richard Hill would have wanted this afternoon. Get some legs about the midfield, shut a few shots players down, cut out a few passes. We're in almost through 86 minutes now. Good close control from Glover. Shakes one or two off, finds Tolaj. Tolaj trying to break through to make room for a shot on his left foot. He hasn't got the shot away, but the referee has spotted a little tug, and now Aldershot have a free kick in a very dangerous position just outside the D. It's position A for a left-footed player, and the discussions will start now between Harfield and Tolaj as to who is going to take this. Tolaj was the one fouled. Tolaj is the one who is desperate to add to his goals tally this afternoon, and Tolaj, I'm pretty sure, is the one that's going to hit it. Frost has entered the fray as well. It's probably 28 yards out, 27, 28 yards out. It's right level with the edge of the D. There's four men in the Eastleigh wall. Tolaj sets up, and again he strikes it about a foot over the bar. So I dare say if Aldershot get a third free kick from that place, it might well be Harfield who steps up and takes it. But another chance goes begging for the shots, and that's probably the only real criticism of a much better second half performance, in which really, to be honest, they've been laying siege on the Spitfires goal. Goals from Jack Barham and Minoga have got the shots back into it. It's level at 2-2, but we still have 2.5 minutes. There's a good take by Glover, and he's sent Jack Barham scurrying away down the left hand side. He tries to come in, the ball comes to Glover, and Glover shoots over the bar, leaning back. He's got Thomas and Tolaj in the area, and Aldershot can't quite get it right in front of goal for that third and what would almost certainly be a winner at this stage. And having only filled a third of my notes on the pad in the first half with efforts from either side, I'm now running out of room on the right hand column as we enter the 89th minute now. Glover the latest to send the ball over the bar for shots. Goal kick will be taken by Tommy Scott on his debut for Eastleigh, replacing McDonnell, whose partner gave birth overnight. He kept a clean sheet in the first half, did pretty well, but he's been unable to stop Barham's and Minoga's efforts in the second half. Here's Eastleigh looking potentially for a late winner themselves over on the right hand side. Harfield cuts that one out and it goes into touch. Glover's done well to get there first, win the ball, and he finds Harfield. Harfield turns inside, Aldershot clear it. Nice little exchange of passes, and Ollie Scott can come away with the ball, and he's carrying on down the left hand side. Now he's going to get Atangana for company, plays it up towards Thomas. It's cut out by an Eastleigh head and then volleyed forward up towards halfway, where Glover battles away with Quigley. Quigley goes down, appeals for a foul, and like he's done all afternoon, David McNamara just stares at him. Nothing. Aldershot now with the ball on the right side, coming over halfway. Rowe played it up to Frost, but Frost couldn't get it under control, and Eastleigh's substitute, the number 19 here, Panther's got the ball, sends a cross into the area where it's plucked out by Van Stapperschurf, and we'll find out in the next 34 seconds how much added time there will be as Harries looks to clip a ball over the top. Barham heads it immediately inside to Tolaj. Tolaj turns, looks to find the feet of Thomas. He's holding it up on the edge of the area, looking for support. He finds that support now with Ollie Harfield. Can Harfield make room for a cross? No, he sends it inside to Glover to Frost. Aldershot so on top for the last 15-20 minutes, it's unbelievable, but they've scored twice. Rowe shapes the pass, makes his way into the area, sends it in, it's blocked. Haji Minoga should be able to clip it in here. He can't, it's cut out by Bailey Clements, and there's going to be 5 added minutes here at the end of this one. Shots have got 5 minutes to win it in normal time, otherwise this might go to penalties unless Eastleigh can conjure something up with 10 men. Here's Harries into Harfield out wide to Scott, and Scott back inside to Harries. Aldershot just trying to draw 1 or 2 Eastleigh players out. Harfield's got it now, tries the cross, in it comes. Tolaj header is weak and straight at the goalkeeper, and another chance goes begging for the shots in the 91st minute. Tolaj with the header from Harfield's cross. We will keep an ear out on those other games as we push towards a finish here. We should have time, if it ends 2-2, to round up the action there before we go to penalties. Well, what a tremendous turnout from Aldershot today. 406 fans, more than I estimated, in 1-3-4-4. Ball out to the right hand side to Tolaj, who tries a shot that deflects off an Eastleigh player, and it will be another corner to the Shots, who've gone ahead of Eastleigh on the corner count. Credit to South Park, who are into 3 added minutes at Hereford, just 1-0 down. Sterling performance from them this afternoon. Here at the Silver Lake, it's Eastleigh 2, Aldershot Town 2. Aldershot Town want to take a short corner. Eastleigh have sent 2 players out, and Aldershot don't seem to know what to do as an alternative. Frost takes it short to Harfield. He's going to try the cross now anyway. Harries is up there, he gets something on it. Tolaj can't. Comes half clear to Frost. He shoots and it's blocked. Referee has now spotted the assistant referee's flag over on this near side, which was indicating an offside against an Aldershot Town player anyway. So we're just past 92 minutes here. We've got 2 3/4 minutes left. Let's get a last word of the afternoon during live play anyway from Ben Chilman. Just how proud of South Park made their fans this afternoon, Ben?
Oh, extremely. There's 1.5 minutes left. They've thrown both centre halves up front. They're throwing the kitchen sink at it with penalties on the line. If they could find an equaliser, they can be very proud of their performance either way this goes, as they attack down the left, but it's just cleared away by Hereford. Still Hereford 1, South Park 0.
Thank you very much, Ben. Great effort from South Park. Shots still on the attack here, and we've got just over 2 minutes of added time left. Rowe has the ball, sends it inside to Frost. Colchester have pulled a goal back against Crawley. It's 2-1 there. Crawley need to hang on for these final few minutes. Here at the Silver Lake, Glover's got the ball on the left-hand side, level with the edge of the penalty area, does a 1-2 with Scott, gets through, pulls it back. Tolaj can't get there, comes out to Frost. He feeds Scott. Scott comes out again. Barham squares it. Tolaj. What a save! What a brilliant save! Tolaj 7 yards out, smashed it at the goal, and he smashed it at Scott. The ball went up in the air, and it came down kindly for Scott. That is far and away the most clear-cut chance for Shots since they went 2-2 in the 94th minute, and Lauren Tolaj just can't get a goal this afternoon. Absolutely thumped that shot, but he couldn't beat Scott, and Eastleigh haven't given up all hope themselves as the clock ticks into the 95th. The final minute of added time begins. Cross comes in from the right, headed away by Harfield. Dorking are through. They've beaten Maidenhead United by 3-0. Throw into Eastleigh over on the far side. We are seconds away from penalties here at the Silver Lake in the FA Trophy. The Shots 2-0 down, back to 2-2, and probably 6 good chances to actually find a winner, which they couldn't take. Cross in here from Attengana. It's going to go into an empty area as far as Eastleigh are concerned. Van Stappershoof brings it back inside to his area and just needs to decide whether it's he or someone else that's going to send it long. It is him. Along it comes. Eastleigh have got a foothold on it. They play it forward, back into the Aldershot half. 94 minutes 57, 58, 59, 95 are up, and the referee blows the final whistle here at the Silver Lake, where shots have come back from 2-0 to 2-2, but despite a plethora of chances in the final 20 minutes, couldn't find themselves a winner. And bizarrely, Tim, just back in the studio, if you're there to have a little exchange with as we set up for penalties, bizarrely, Tim, you know, from being out of this one, the shots look a little deflated that they've not managed to find a winner during normal time. I don't think we'll have too long to wait, but obviously both managers will have to decide who's going to be taking penalties for them.
You stand by, Rob. We've got you in my ear. So let's just wrap up everything else. Let's go to Hereford. Have Hereford hung on almost against South Park? Ben Shulman.
It's a bit like that, Tim. Yes, they have hung on. South Park, what a valiant effort by the boys in blue. They threw everything at it, the kitchen sink and more, but couldn't quite find the equaliser in the dying seconds. It's finished here. Hereford 1, South Park 0. South Park 0, sorry.
Wonderful work, Ben. Thank you very much indeed. Let's cross to Meadowbank, where Dorking are through. I can tell you, as we cross, the PA is ridiculously loud. I'm not sure my commentator is going to even hear me hand to him. You might want to turn his effects mic down a bit. Let's go to Chris Baldwin. Dorking are through, Chris.
Yeah, hope you can hear me all right, Tim. Battling with the PA once again, but we won't mind because it's been a great afternoon's work for Dorking Wanderers this afternoon. They've beaten Maidenhead United by 3-0. The damage really done in the first half. They opened the scoring in the 7th minute. Some terrific work down the right-hand side from Bobby Joe Taylor, who looked really lively this afternoon. He managed to get the ball into the box. The final touch came off a sky blue shirt. It's going to go down as an own goal. But what a stunning strike from Bobby Joe Taylor in the 23rd minute. No doubt about that one. Little dip of the shoulder. He cut in onto his left foot and then buried the shot from all of about 20 yards beyond Craig Ross into the top left-hand corner of the net. And then 4 minutes before the break, some nice work down the left-hand side from Luke Moore, who was leading the line this afternoon, of all people, for Dorking Wanderers. He lost possession of the ball after a challenge with de Havilland. The loose ball was picked up by George Frankham, who cut it back to James McShane, who poked it home from 6 yards out to make it 3-0. Chances were at a premium in the second half. Dorking probably had the best one, and some lovely work down the left-hand side involving Frankham and James McShane as well. Set up Seb Bauman, whose shot came off the foot of Craig Ross, and the danger was cleared. But Dorking Wanderers go into the hat for the 4th round draw. The final score here at the Meadowbank Stadium: Dorking Wanderers 3, Maidenhead United 0.
Great work, Chris. Well done for fighting against a very loud PA, but what an atmosphere. Dorking through to the 4th round of the FA Trophy. Huge thank you to Alfie Rutherford, suspended today. Cup tied, I should say, and he's available hopefully to play when they return to league action. But of course, today's all about trophy. We are waiting for a penalty shootout at Aldershot. They've come from 2-0 down to draw 2-2, but it is full time at Crawley. Have they hung on, Gary Smith?
They certainly have, Tim. The players are just taking the applause of the 257 travelling fans away to our left-hand side. Goals by Kelly in the first half and Danilo Orsi from the penalty spot in the second half have given Crawley their second away win of the season. Colchester got one back inside stoppage time, of which we had 11 minutes at the end of the second half. Taylor got one back for them, 1-on-1, but Crawley did the sensible thing, saw the game out, and they pick up their second away win of the season. 3,187 people here to see it, and the fans from Sussex away to my left are going absolutely jubilant, and they'll go home very, very happy. Colchester United 1, Crawley Town 2 at full time.
Wonderful result, great result. Thank you very much indeed, Gary Smith. So Crawley 12th as we stand, 28 points, just 3 adrift of Swindon. Sutton's game called off, a reminder, due to the weather. If you don't want to know the Premier League scores and you're a big Match of the Day fan, turn away now. Some incredible stories. So Liverpool came from a goal down with half an hour to play to win 2-1. Brighton held 1-1 by second bottom Burnley. Manchester United thrashed 3-0 at home by Bournemouth. Sheffield United, new boss Chris Wilder is back at the club for a second spell. He's beaten Brentford, or they've beaten Brentford. He's led them by 1-0 and it's finished Wolves 1, Forest 1. We are ready, give or take, for the penalty shootout. Aldershot Town against Eastleigh at the Silver Lake Stadium. The winner of the penalty shootout will be in the FA Trophy 4th round, Rob Worrell.
Absolutely, thank you very much, Tim. So our other games this afternoon have been settled. This one remains in the balance. Penalty shootout here at the Silver Lake Stadium in the third round of the FA Trophy. And Geordie van Stappershoef, who got sent off here in the league game and who let in a relatively soft goal in the first half here, has got the opportunity to make amends. Scott Quigley, very experienced and reliable striker, will step up to take the first penalty here. Van Stappershoef goes to his right, Quigley goes down the middle, and it's 1-0 to the home side. Quigley with the first goal from the penalty spot for Eastleigh. Kwame Thomas is going to be the first player to take a penalty for Aldershot Town. And well, goals this season have been few and far between for the big front man, but he's been coming on to great effect. And here he steps up against Scott with Shot's first penalty. And he sends Scott to the right, he goes to Scott's left, and that one nestles to the cheers of the 406 Shots faithful. Away to my right and over on the far side. Chris Maguire, the next up, as quite a lot of Eastleigh fans try and make their way down to the end where the penalties are being taken, just to try and even up the support and the noise behind the goal. And who can blame them for doing that? Van Stappershoef takes his position in goal. Chris Maguire it is that will step up to take this second penalty for the Spitfires. 1-1 after one penalty each, as more and more Eastleigh fans populate the stand behind the goal away to our right. Maguire against Van Stappershoef. High and into the roof of the net as Van Stappershoef again goes away to his right. So Maguire puts Eastleigh 2-1 up in the penalty shootout. Referee David McNamara's got the ball. He's making sure that we don't get any of those scenarios where the goalkeeper tries to take the ball and put the striker off. Scott remains on the goal line. Cian Harries, the regular Shots penalty taker, steps up left-footed and just rolls it calmly into the net. Calm as you like. Another penalty tucked away by Cian Harries. 5 penalties taken this season, 5 penalties scored. This the first one in a shootout. Next up then for the home side is going to be Aidan Barlow. Now Barlow, the player that Van Stappershoef took out when he got his red card in the league game. There can be no better moment to even up the score there than this. Barlow steps up, Van Stappershoef dives left and Barlow goes to his right, and it's Eastleigh 3, Aldershot Town 2. And so far Van Stappershoef, who can't buy a bit of luck here at the Silver Lake, has guessed the wrong way all 3 times. Next up for the Shots is Lauren Tollage, and I make of the 8 chances Aldershot had from 67 minutes onwards, Tollage had 4 of them, but every time Eastleigh blocked his path. Can they block his path again? Tollage scores. Keeper away to his right. Tollage tucks it into the side netting. A quite brilliant penalty from the Swiss striker. And so far it's 100% from the penalty spot for both sides here in the FA Trophy third round. 2-2 in the game, 3-3 in the penalty shootout. And it's the Eastleigh substitute, number 19, Corey Panther, who is going to take the 4th penalty for Eastleigh. Panther against Van Stappershoef, left-footed. And he's put it wide. Van Stappershoef went the right way. And he was at full stretch, but I don't think he got a hand on it. I think it was dragged wide by the substitute Panther. Advantage Aldershot. It remains 3-3 after 4 penalties for Eastleigh and 3 for the shots. Next up, Tyler Frost against Scott. Steps up, right-footed. Beautifully nestles the ball into the corner. Eastleigh 3, shots 4. A lovely moment for Tyler Frost as he sees the back of the net nestle, and all of a sudden the pressure is turned up on Enzio Boldewijn. If he misses or Van Stappershoef saves, then the shots are through to the next round. Regardless of that, they will get one more opportunity still to seal the deal here at the Silver Lake. The last penalty each then for either side. First up for the home side, Enzio Boldewijn against Van Stappershoef, who goes the wrong way, and it is 4-4. Van Stappershoef diving away to his right. Enzio Boldewijn tucks the ball home at the other way, and it's Kobe Rowe who steps up, the hero, with that 114th minute winner against Bromley in the league. Can he take the last decisive action here at the Silver Lake as well today for Aldershot Town, who again went 2-0 down, who again got level? And Kobe Rowe blazes over the bar, and it remains 4-4 after 5 penalties each. Rowe leaning back, probably a foot or so over the bar. He returns to halfway now with his head bowed. Tyler Frost, the first to break ranks and come and meet him. And when we get going again, when the ball returns, it'll be another Eastleigh substitute, Nigel Attengarner, who will take the next penalty for Eastleigh, who might have thought they were out of this one. But Aldershot, with a lot of history when they've had penalties to win shootouts and not been able to do it. Remember Carlisle, remember Gateshead. Up steps Attengarner against Van Stappershoef. Brilliant save! One-handed up in the air. And finally the Dutchman has his moment for the shots. An outstanding save, diving away to his left with his right hand up in the air. And it remains 4-4. The first 7 penalties scored and then everything missed. And it's Jack Barham who will get the opportunity as the 6th penalty taker for the shots to wrap this one up. Barham scores! Eastleigh 2, Aldershot 2, and the shots progress to the 4th round of the FA Trophy. It's not penalty heartbreak today. From 0 to hero, Jordi Van Stappershoef makes the crucial save. Jack Barham, who came off the bench to tuck away Shot's first goal before Minoga levelled the scores. Barham it is who seals the deal here at the Silver Lake. Final score in the FA Trophy. Eastleigh 2, Aldershot Town 2, and Eastleigh 4, Aldershot Town 5 on penalties, Tim.
Rob, they came back against Stockport in the Cup. They scored in the 8th minute of injury time to win a league game. They scored in the 13th minute of injury time to win a league game. The S word, spirit, this season appears to be abounded amongst the side, isn't it? Spirit.
It's spirit, it's belief, it's confidence. They weren't quite on their game today, especially in the first half. And we've got so spoilt with it, Tim, that I think questions will be asked why they didn't get it done in normal time. From the minute Eastleigh went down to 10 men, there was a bit of shock for 5 minutes or so, but after that, wave on wave of attack from the shots. They scored twice, but it was only twice out of 9 attempts, and you wondered if the opportunity had came and gone. And then, of course, it looked like they just got to tuck away a penalty for a win, and Kobe Rowe's blushes have been saved. And saved by Van Stappershoef, Tim, who was sent off in the league game and who let in the softest of goals in the first half today. But he's pretty much had, along with Jack Barham, the final say. A brilliant one-handed save from Garner's penalty. And Jack Barham sends the keeper the wrong way too. And the Shots, who just do not know when they're beaten this season, Tim, as you rightly point out, done it again. And they'll head up to Edgeley Park on Wednesday night in great spirits, as somehow, some way, yet again, they've found a way to progress here at the Silver Lake.
Rob, wonderful commentary, well done. I was going to say go and lie down, but you'll be off immediately to get reaction. We'll get reaction live here for you on BBC Radio Surrey between now and 6 o'clock. Wow, what great fun. We do love a penalty shootout, but I say that as an Englishman only when it goes well.
Text 81333.
Starting your message with the word Surrey. Texts are charged at your standard message rate.
BBC Radio Surrey.
Yes, a very good evening. It's time for the final whistle at 12 minutes past 5.
All the reaction from the big match. This is the final whistle.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm Tim Darrens. In League Two, a big win for Crawley Town. Goals from Liam Kelly and Daniel Orsi as they beat Colchester by 2-1.
Right-footed into the roof of the net. None of your Panenkas with Danilo Orsi. No. Smashes it down the middle. He goes into double figures for the season. And Crawley double their lead inside the 64th minute. Danilo Orsi from the spot. And that second away win looks ever closer. Colchester 0, Crawley Town 2.
The home side made it nervous towards the end, but the Reds hung on to win 2-1. They are 12th tonight, 3 points behind the playoff places as things stand. Sutton's game in League 2 was postponed. They are 5 adrift at the foot of League 2 tonight. In the FA Trophy, Aldershot 2-0 down. But as I was saying, they came back. It's spirit from the Shots.
Frost can't get his shot away. Tollard just got it half cleared. Followed up by Haji Minoga. And Aldershot are level here against the 10 men of Eastleigh. Shots level with the Portsmouth lonely Haji Minoga.
Then it went to a penalty shootout.
Up steps Atten Garner against Van Stappershoef. Brilliant save! One-handed up in the air, and finally the Dutchman has his moment for the Shots. An outstanding save, diving away to his left with his right hand up in the air, and it remains 4-4. The first 7 penalties scored and then everything missed, and it's Jack Barham who'll get the opportunity as the 6th penalty taker for the Shots to wrap this one up. Barham scores! Eastleigh 2, Aldershot 2, and the Shots progress to the 4th round of the FA Trophy. It's not penalty heartbreak today. From 0 to hero, Jordi Van Stappershoef makes the crucial save.
So brilliant win for Aldershot. They needed a penalty shootout. Dorking, Walking Meadow Park.
Here's McManus again now, past the halfway line, feeds Luke Moore. Luke Moore challenging for the ball with Will de Havilland. It runs nicely for George Franklin. Tap into the net there from James McShane. That's an easy goal there for McShane. And Dorking Wanderers have a third here with less than 5 minutes remaining. And it's Dorking Wanderers 3, Maidenhead United 0.
So Aldershot through, Dorking through. Hereford, though, put out South Park. The Brave, Isthmian South Central side, losing just 1-0 away to an Adam Rudy goal at Edgar Street. In National League South, heavy defeat for Farnborough by 4-0. Cameron here in a moment to round up all the stories from another dramatic day in the Premier League. Esher take the honours at Dorking in the rugby. Esher go top of National 2 East above Dorking, winning 38-19. Jean Bon winning the Tingle Creek at the Sandown Park racing course today. Flames in action tonight, and England's women beating India by 4 wickets to win the T20 series 2-0 with a game to spare.
The sound. The sound. The sound of. The sound of Surrey. And all the music. The music you love. The music you love. BBC Radio Surrey.
Reaction to come. Premier League roundup. All of that after a bit of this. Good evening, In Excess. Need You Tonight on BBC Radio Surrey. Classic track. Need You Tonight, In Excess. Good evening, 5:20. Let's round up the rest of the sporting action. Here's Cameron Anderson-Edwards. Cameron Anderson-Jones.
Switch the two of the producers up there. It's alright, Tim, I'll forgive you. Starting with football in the Premier League's early kickoff, Liverpool beat Crystal Palace as they scored yet again in stoppage time. Surrey's Harvey Elliott grabbed the late winner there for Jurgen Klopp's side as they're now top of the table ahead of the 5:30 kickoff. Let's hear from Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp to see what he made of the match.
76 minutes I didn't like at all. We arrived here and I think everybody could see we faced an opponent who was low of confidence. We didn't use that at all. We actually the opposite. We gave them situations that they could create somehow a little bit of momentum and a bit of atmosphere in the stadium and woke them up.
Full-time scores in the Premier League see Brighton and Hove Albion salvage a point against Burnley thanks to Simon Adingra.
Gross in there, back post, they're queuing up, and it's in! Simon Adingra, finally, Albion fight back, they're back level.
We're saying Johnny, all game get crosses into the box, and then both wide players are free. Just floated back post, and Adingra's there to head it in, back across goal, it's a wonderful finish.
The result means that the Seagulls stay in touch of European football, only 1 point off 5th place Spurs as the Albion currently sit 8th. Manchester United have lost 3-0 at home to Bournemouth. Dominic Solanke, Philip Billing and Marcus Senesi with the goals. The Cherries have moved up to 13th in the Premier League. Nottingham Forest have drew with Wolves in what is a big match for Steve Cooper's future as manager. Rumours were that he was going to lose his job if he did not win today, so let's see what will happen in that story of the rest of the day. Sheffield United confirmed their 3rd win of the season thanks to James McAtee as Chris Wilder got his first win as Blades boss. A huge match at 5:30 though as Arsenal take to Villa Park, who themselves are a rich run of form lately as they beat Manchester City during the week. Arsenal's Arteta said that Aston Villa counterpart Unai Emery gets the best out of his teams.
Well, the first season they had quite a strong season, and he did it straight away after coming from PSG, and he's carried on. After he went to Villarreal, he did incredibly well, and now he's doing really well at Aston Villa. He's had a lot of experience and skill to get the best out of teams.
That big match gets underway in just 8 minutes time at 5:30. And in cricket, England's women beat India by 4 wickets to seal a 2-0 T20 series win after a dismal batting performance from the hosts in Mumbai. In horse racing, a reminder that at Sandown Park they hosted the Group 1 Betfair Tingle Creek Chase at 3 p.m, and it was John Bond who beat Edward Stone in a commanding fashion as he goes from strength to strength this season. In rugby then, a huge game in the National 2 East as two of our sides faced each other this afternoon, and the match finished 1938 to Esher as they beat Dorking and have now jumped above them in the table. No Guildford Flames this weekend in ice hockey, but you do have Surrey Scorchers who play tomorrow at 3 p.m. That's all from me with your latest sporting headlines.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you very much indeed. That was Cameron Anderson-Jones. Cruel Summer from Taylor Swift. Good evening. Tim Durrans with Saturday Sport here on your local station. We'll get reaction from our featured games. We've got an ear on the line at Aldershot where they won a penalty shootout. They were 2-0 down in the game, came back to level at 2-2, and then won the penalty shootout at Eastleigh in the same division as them. It's a real effort by 5 goals to 4, 5 penalties to 4. Reaction to come from there and from Dorking, who are through. Sadly, Southport went out bravely, beaten 1-0 at Hereford. Adam Rooney scoring just short of the half hour. South Park went close a couple of times in the second half. Defeat for Farnborough in National League South at Taunton by 4-0. In League Two then, Crawley Town hanging on to win 2-1 at Colchester. They led 2-0 before the home side got one back in the last 10 minutes or so. Reminder in League Two table then, Crawley are 12th tonight. Still a handful of sides between them and the playoffs, but the gap is narrowing. 3 points between them and Swindon, who are in that final playoff place. Reaction to come from Crawley as well in the last half hour of the show. At the Premier League table, after the results today, Liverpool are top. Arsenal, though, kicking off at 5:30. They're away to Aston Villa, who are third. If Villa win, they will go within a point of Arsenal. Manchester United are 6th. Brighton stay 8th and towards the bottom. Sheffield United getting that win under Chris Wilder today, but they are still in the bottom three. However, this is how it looks. Sheffield United 8 points, Burnley 8, Luton 9, that's your bottom three, but it's a gap of just 1 point to Everton in 10th after their deduction, of course, which they are appealing. And then it's Forest on 14. Forest getting a key point today coming from behind at Wolves. Reaction to come then, but let's carry on with a bit of the music as we get a little nearer to Christmas Day. Last Christmas from Wham. Just gone 5:30. What a story in the FA Trophy. Aldershot Town 2-0 down. They came back to draw and then win on penalties. Let's go back to the Silver Lake Stadium where Rob Worrell is with Hugo Langton from the coaching staff.
I am indeed, and Hugo couldn't have played a more apt record, could they, last Christmas? And that's what the Kings Lynn fans used to sing to you. Just tell us the story.
Yeah, they used to sing this year to save me from tears, I'll give it to Hugo Langton. Very funny, but yeah, it's a great Christmas song.
Excellent. Well, it's a little early to celebrate Christmas. There's a bit of business to be done before then, but it's progression this afternoon, Hugo, eventually for the shots. In truth, not the most inspiring first half today, and Eastleigh led by 1-0, but some important refereeing decisions, and ultimately your side got their way back into it. Just give us a management perspective on that second half and the shenanigans at the end.
Well, listen, let's be honest, in the first half, as a group, as a team, we did not get anywhere near the levels that we have set ourselves and we expect from ourselves. Our passing game wasn't great. To be fair to Eastleigh, they started bright, they're the home team, but whilst they threatened with a lot of territory, I don't think they really hurt us a great deal. But it was almost like they were knocking on a door, but they couldn't quite push the door open, apart from the goal that they scored. But but the game did change. It's a little bit like when we came here before. The game did change on the red card, and the thing is about this team, we never know when we're beaten, and I think sometimes it takes a little bit of a kick up your own backside at half time. It wasn't just from the staff, but from the players booting each other up the backside as well, demanding higher standards. They don't know when they're beaten, and that's a testament to the group and their attitude towards the game of football and wearing the Aldershot shirt.
With the best part of an hour gone, and despite Eastleigh being down to the 10 men, they got themselves a second. McCallum nipping in, and it was very Aldershot to give themselves quite a task.
I was fuming with that because somebody hasn't done their job. We work a lot. Every week we work on how we defend our box, and it's a really, really key theme. It's on the key days of our week. And I'm very disappointed, if I'm honest with you, that we've conceded that second goal, because it's a poor goal to concede from our point of view.
But I'm not going to say you sent on. I'm going to have to say you unleashed Jack Barham from the bench, and he hadn't been on much more than a minute before he controlled that ball beautifully, and one of his best finishes of the season.
Yeah, he took it well. I mean, to be fair to Jack, he picked up a knock last weekend, so he hasn't actually trained a lot this week. So he trained yesterday to show that he was available for selection, but you could just see in the first half there's a lot of space in behind that I didn't feel that we were exploiting well enough. And when it comes to that sort of thing, Jack's your man. And to be fair, Keane found him with a terrific ball forward, and listen, in that situation he's calm and he took his chance, and from that moment, it's a little bit like at Bromley. The moment we scored, we just thought, right, we can go on and win this game. I know we haven't won it technically, we have on penalties, but we just, you can just feel the mood change.
So many chances, wave on wave of attack, and Tolaj must have been involved with 4 of them, but everything he hit towards goal was blocked. His free kicks were just over, but perhaps a surprising one. They'd eventually got the goal in, Haji Minoga, not with his effort, not with his appearing up the top end of the pitch, but a triple chance after a good pull back from Harfield. Frost was denied, Tolaj was denied, but Hadji wouldn't be.
No, this is the thing. We try to push the two wing backs, him and Ollie Scott, further higher up the pitch to cause them a problem, because Eastleigh had proper narrowed off as you would do when you're down to 10 men. And it was just about Hadj just making sure, and I was saying to him, just time your runs when you're going to go in there. Don't just go in there, watch it unfold, then make your decision, because if it doesn't go in there, that means we can try and find you on the other side of the pitch for you to put the ball in the box. So to be fair to Hadj, he's made the correct decision, right man, right place. Good for him. He's a good lad.
The winning goal wouldn't quite come in normal time, but in the penalty shootout, fast forward to the last two key moments, really. Jordi van Stappershoef, who got sent off here in the league, who will undoubtedly feel he could have done better for Eastleigh's first goal today, but he had his moment of redemption, a quite brilliant one-handed save from Nigel Atangana.
I mean, he's a big lad, Jordi, isn't he? Do you know what? One thing that was said at half-time is that Jordi's bailed the boys out enough this season. Okay, he made a mistake, so it happened, but it was, the message was to the fellas, go on, Bailey, goalie out. But when it came to the crucial parts, I mean, he went the right way for the one they put wide. But yeah, it's great save. That's why we love him and why he's our number one.
And the man who started the scoring for Aldershot today had the final word as well. He might not have been best pleased to be sixth penalty taker, but it turned out to be the key one.
It was the player's decision who went when. It wasn't decided by the staff. I don't know if you saw, but when the full-time whistle went, it was a simple conversation I had with the lads. Who wants one and who's going in what order, and they literally just went, right, I'll go first, I'll go third, I'll go second. So the first five just went, that's us. And Jack went, well, I'll be sixth then. So it wasn't the fact that anyone's nose had been putting out of joint, is that everyone just wanted to take a penalty. But you know what? It's testament to the players. They're not afraid to put their necks on the line for the teammates and the club.
The third time this season the shots have come from 2-0 down to win a game somehow, some way. Thank you very much, Hugo.
No problem.
Wonderful to hear him. Hugo Langton with Rob Warren. Well done to Aldershot Town. They are in the round 4 pot for the draw tomorrow or on Monday. They are joined by Dorking, who've won by 3-0. We'll have a reaction from there in a few moments' time. Sadly, South Park won't be in there, but boy, did they run it close. Isthmian South Central, mid-table side, went to Hereford of the National League North and lost by a single goal to 0. Let's return and rejoin Ben Chilman.
I'm joined here at Edgar Street with South Park manager Tom Cope. A valiant effort by your boys today against higher graded opposition, but I suspect you're a bit disappointed with the 1-0 defeat.
I'm more proud than disappointed. I think the difference in leagues shows. You can tell that there's a lot of quality in Hereford, but yeah, massive disappointed. Having watched the game, you sit there and think, have we not scored? We've done really well to keep them out. Appreciate they put the ball in the back of the net twice, but one ruled out for offside. First half, I think they only had one shot on target, which was the goal, and we had a number of chances which on another day we'd probably take those. So in the second half we just said, keep going, doing more of the same, go and do a little bit better, go and do a little bit quicker, and they did that. Didn't concede second half, and it's just heartbreaking that we didn't score.
Yeah, because you had the chances, especially right at the death with Murphy's chance there. It was what could have been, I suppose.
Absolutely. I think, Brendan, great chance, opportunity at the end off of Magic from the wide area. Ollie's header, I think I'd already started going down the touchline. I thought he'd gone in. Kaiser's shot from breaking out from the centre half, fantastic. There were plenty of opportunities for us to score, and as I say, on a different day they go in, but I'm so proud of the boys. It's a great cup run, making history for the club, which I'm proud to be a part of, and I know that the boys are. It's a shame that we couldn't have scored. I think that would have been a great token gesture for what we've achieved, and the travelling fans, because there's a lot that have made the trip for us, which is brilliant. But yeah, proud, disappointing, heartbreaking, but that's football.
Yeah, well, you mentioned it, 7-hour round trip. You've come through 5 rounds to get to this point. It's been quite an experience for the players and a journey for yourselves. Has it brought you together as a group, possibly?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one really, really tight squad, and the changing room environment is incredible. It really is. And days like this sort of bring to light how good these boys can be, and we've got some players that can play at a much higher level, and we're very, very fortunate and lucky to have them at South Park. And we're hoping now that this is going to kick on in the league, and we can take some of the success from this cup run and try and climb up that league table. We want to push for at least playoffs. That's the aspiration of us. Could we do it? Yeah, I'm sure we absolutely can. So it's now about getting through the Christmas period with some injuries and bringing back a couple of the boys from the injury table, maybe adding an extra one, and then saying, right, what are we going to go achieve? So yeah, it's a great vibe in there at the moment. They're all kicking themselves, but they're all on a night out in Cardiff now, so fair play to them. I'll be on the coach with 4 cans of Moretti and that's just for the first 20 minutes.
Look out if you're going to Cardiff tonight. Look out for the South Park football team walking through the streets, having a good evening, but a narrow defeat for them. They are out. Aldershot are through. Dorking are through. Big 3-0 win. If you're on your way home from Meadowbank, stay tuned. We're going to hear from Chris Baldwin talking to Mark White. We're going to hear from Scott Lindsay, the Crawley manager, after their 2-1 win. We're also going to have the Surrey Senior Cup draw in around about 3 or 4 minutes' time. It's time to broadcast the third round draw for this season's Specsavers Surrey Senior Cup. 19 teams making up the draw, 3 second-round ties still to be played. 8 of the teams from the combined counties, 9 from the Isthmian League, and 1 each from the National League, and of course Sutton in the English Football League. Drawing the home teams this week was Ray from the working branch of the sponsors, and the away teams were drawn by new head of marketing at the Surrey County FA, Kirk. Putting the balls in the bag, in the pot will be, as ever, Bob. Here we go, he's good at this. Get all the balls in there. 16 balls, 19 teams. Ray, could you give them a stir for us? Really good stir. And draw the first ball. So the first team at home will be...
Number 12.
Number 12, the Met Police or Nap Hill. They play their second round tie in January. Met Police, of course, the holders. They will play...
Number 2.
Number 2, Carl Shorten Athletic or Tooting Mitcham United. They play their second round tie this coming Monday. Home team.
Number 5.
Number 5, Sutton United, our English Football League representative. And they're lucky, they've got a home draw against...
Number 1.
Oh, Hawley Town for the combined counties Premier Division South. It only happens in the Surrey Senior Cup. What a cracking game that will be. Your next home team?
Number 7.
Number 7, Red Hill, another one of our combined counties Premier Division South teams. They will welcome...
Number 11.
Number 11, Badshot or Cobham. They play their second round tie this Tuesday.
Next one is number 16.
Number 16, Farnham Town from the combined counties Premier Division South have a home tie against.
Number 9.
Number 9, Kingstonian from the Isthmian Premier Division.
Number 6.
Number 6, Corinthian Casuals from the Isthmian League South Central Division. Peter, their visitors will be...
Number 13.
Woking from the National League.
Number 3.
Leatherhead from the Isthmian League South Central Division.
Number 10.
Will welcome South Park Reigate from the Isthmian League South Central Division.
Number 14.
Sutton Common Rovers of the Isthmian League South Central Division, of course. They have a home tie against...
Number 4.
Number 4, Chertsey Town from the Isthmian League South Central Division as well.
Number 15.
Virginia Water, last season's finalists from the combined counties Premier Division North, are at home too.
Number 8.
Number 8, AFC Croydon Athletic of the combined counties Premier Division South. That is your draw for the third round of the Specsavers Surrey Senior Cup. Ties to be played in January 2024. Well, good luck to your team. Thanks to Ray and to Kirk. All the details, or if you want to see the actual draw, the video of it, all the details on the Surrey FA website. in the next 10 minutes or so at around about 6 o'clock tonight, and good luck in the competition. Well, let's switch to rugby. It was the top of the table clash. Leaders Dorking hosting, second place Esher. Esher 6 games on the trot they'd won coming into this. They were the form side, and so it proved, winning 38 points to 19. I'm delighted to say the director of rugby at Esher, Peter Winterbottom, the former British Lion and England internationals, on the line. Peter, great result today. As easy as it sounds, or was that not the word you'd use?
No, it was a good performance, I think, from Esher. We dominated most of the game, and I think the result was well deserved.
Was it because you came into the game in such good form? You think things are clicking now a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. We've started to find our form, and today we really did. Yes, I thought we dominated Dorking in most areas, and well deserved the victory. There were some big performances from some of our players today, which was really good to see.
Did conditions dry up a bit? You and I spoke about how wet it could be on Friday. Was it a bit better than you thought?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, it stopped raining sort of midday-ish, and then the wind blew and dried out the pitch a little bit. So, yeah, the pitch was in pretty good nick considering the amount of rain. So, both teams actually played some pretty good rugby, moved the ball well, and I think it was an entertaining game. And and a big crowd there, which is great for Dorking.
13 games played each, pretty much halfway. You've just gone top now, 2 points clear, Peter. Is that a statement win, perhaps?
Yeah, probably. I mean, I think we showed that we like to think we're the best team in the league, and I said to the lads, well, don't get too carried away, because it's at the end of the season that it really counts. That's when you want to be top. We were very happy with the result. Very happy that we're now top, and we've got to kick on from here and keep improving, and hopefully be at the top at the end of the season.
Finally, you said how well Dorking had marketed the game. Was it a good crowd? Was it a really good advert for rugby in Surrey today?
Yeah, I think it was, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, considering the conditions, it was a very good crowd, and it was. It was a good game of rugby. It was, both teams, were very positive in the way they played, and I think a very good advert for Surrey rugby.
Peter, thanks for joining us. I'll let you get back to the celebrations. Congratulations today. Okay. That's the director of rugby at Esher, Peter Winterbottom, speaking to us after a 38 points to 19 win away at rivals Dorking. So Surrey beating Surrey today. In the football in League Two, Crawley won 2-1 at Colchester. Liam Kelly scoring just before the first half ended. Daniel Orsi scoring from the penalty spot to make it 2-0. Colchester getting a goal back towards the end, but Crawley hung on. And Scott Lindsay, their manager, spoke to Gary Smith after the win.
Scott, thank you so much for joining us. It was touch and go about whether the game was going to be on, but I bet you're now delighted that the ref gave it the go-ahead.
Yeah, we made the decision with the referee, to be fair. Me and their manager, we walked over to the far side where the worst bit was, and he kind of said, what's your thoughts, gentlemen? Got to be honest with you, Matthew Etherington didn't look like he was wanting to get the game on, which told me that I wanted to. So I said, look, for me, I think we should play it. Whilst it's not great, I felt that the playing squad had the bit between their teeth almost from Thursday onwards. Felt a real good positive vibe about the place in the training ground, and then felt it again today at the hotel, and I just felt that the players really had that focus to win the game today. So I wanted the game on. Obviously pleased it was on in the end now.
Yeah, you sort of preempted my next question, because when you came to join us in the commentary box before the game, which you're welcome to come and do again if you want to, if it's going to lead to results like that every week, you did say that yourself and the coaching team and the players thought it was a good time to play Colchester.
Yeah, I think so. Obviously they're not doing so great, and they're probably lacking a bit of confidence, and it would be for me it was a good time to play them. The only kind of thing was the pitch being that bad might have been a leveller for them, because obviously we want to play our possession-based football where we stroke it around and pass it, and it probably didn't suit that as much today. But Players were brilliant. They were really, really good today. Really professional about how we went about it.
We said from the second goal, which was a little bit confusing for us because we didn't see the foul that happened to lead to the penalty. Obviously, also he put the ball in the net, then he got pulled back for the penalty. But we said from that moment on, and you just mentioned it, Crawley were professional. They were competent. There was great game management. They just kept possession. Apart from that one chance where they've got one back, didn't give Colchester a sniff.
Yeah, real comprehensive performance for me. Real professional. You know, and when you look at the players who played on the pitch, I think, like I said before the game, in the commentary box with you, Dion Conroy, Liam Kelly and Ben Gladwin, it's only their 4th start together this season. We've won all 4. So it just goes to showing you have experienced players on the pitch, you know, that they're able to see that through. I'll take full responsibility for their goal. My fault, nobody else's. Straight ball down the middle of the pitch, or down kind of to our left slightly, and I shouted to Lawrence to see it because I felt that it had more legs on it than it did. I don't think Lawrence probably could have done much more than he did, but listen, I shouldn't have shouted what I shouted, and he would have maybe dealt with the moment better than he did, but totally my fault, no one else's.
Great win for Crawley Town this afternoon. 2-1, 12th in League Two, just 3 points off his old club Swindon, who are in the first playoff place. Dorking into the trophy, 4th round with Aldershot. They won 3-0 today. Mark White's been talking to Chris Baldwin.
Mark, on paper, this appeared to be a tricky tie today, but in the end, it was a resounding result for Dorking.
Yeah, I thought, brilliant today. You know, like a bit of experience back in the team. Tony Hayden-Hollis. Bit of grit, determination. There was not going to be any complacency before this game because the lads knew we had a lot of players missing, no recognised striker, and we had to get a lot of things right, but thankfully they did.
I was going to lead on to that. Obviously, certain players playing out of position today. A word on Luke Moore, who's leading the line certainly in the opening 45 minutes.
Yeah, I know. Well, listen, false 9 job, wasn't it? You know, which is great, and it's good to see we could do something so advanced, and we were just really sort of like dragging Luke in and playing in areas in spare men behind him, and then farming the ball out to wide boys in space. It was great, really attractive across the 90. I think we created a lot of chances, and ironically, without a striker, more chances created in that game than we've created in the last 5 games combined, so a lot to take out of that.
And a word on Bobby Joe Taylor's second goal as well.
Yeah, Bobby's got that in the locker, you know. At times Bobby can be frustrating for me and the fans, but he's an incredible lad. He's got technique and velocity in his left and right foot that I believe he should use a lot more. And before the game, I literally said to Bob, I need you today to get shots off. It's a big deal. We haven't got a recognised striker. You're playing out there to shift the ball and shoot, and and he done that. So it was great to see Bobby do that. Really good for Bob. And a lot of the things we designed to do today went well and went to plan. And that's all you can ask as a manager.
And of course the game's come thick and fast anyway, but I guess you're hoping for a decent run in this competition.
Oh, it's massive to us, you know, we're a small club, you know, like to us, even getting to the quarterfinals would be groundbreaking for the town. I know we've reached the National League in this incredible elevated position, but, you know, we haven't had there's still firsts out there for us. There's still things we've never achieved that other clubs have done 10 times over. So yeah, we'll look to the draw Monday. And we'll be really excited about who we can get, and you know the boys will start having one eye on this one, thinking, well, 3 or 4 wins, you could be looking at Wembley, and that's life changing to the club and to these lads. So yeah, it was an important one to win today, and it sets us up well for our next game.
And finally, looking ahead to Woking at home next week, always one to savour. How are you going to be preparing for that one?
Well, we're definitely going to look to take a lot from what we've done today in the Maidenhead game. We've done a lot of things right. Sometimes you look at players that are in a little bit of form and they might not be the most fashionable player in that position, but you know what, if it's working for you, stick with it. I don't really want to force changes this week. We're fortunate our Altrincham game is called off. We can train 2 mornings, do some 11v11s, get some of these boys back training, Charlie Carter, etc., Briggs, Pryor, and try to get something to build in the background. So we're excited for the Woking game. Last year it was attended brilliantly by both sets of fans. Made it a great day last year, home and away. So yeah, we're looking forward to them coming down.
That will be a very special game on next Saturday. Full live commentary on Dorking Woking That is next Saturday. George Wedlake will be in the chair. I'm off next Saturday. So, well done to Dorking and to Aldershot. They are into the fourth round of the FA Trophy. Not so South Park, but beaten narrowly up at Hereford by 1-0. Woking's tie will be restaged on Tuesday night. As you heard, Dorking's league game on Tuesday is now off because Altrincham, their opponents, are going to have their restaged trophy tie. So Tuesday night will be nothing. Wednesday night is something special. Aldershot Town away to Stockport County. We'll keep an ear on that. Hopefully BBC Manchester will do web commentary for you, but we will of course reflect it on the breakfast show that following morning. Good luck to the Shots in their second round replay. Elsewhere, Crawley up to 12th in League 2 tonight, 3 points off the playoffs after a 2-1 win at Colchester United. Farmer beaten 4-0 in National League South away to Taunton. In the Premier League, wins for Liverpool. For Bournemouth over Man United. Sheffield United beat Brentford. Aston Villa lead Arsenal in the late kick-off by 1-0. Brighton were held 1-1 by Burnley, and it also finished 1-1 between Wolves and Forest. We're back, as I say, next Saturday. Game changes on Monday. Up next is Leah Ulf with Upload. Good evening.